Evening. This is the face of a man who's ever so slightly uncomfortable right now. Welcome to the channel. I am sorry there is no game tonight, but the first thing we must discuss, the most important part of tonight's particular stream, is that Joe is okay. He had his tooth out this morning. It wasn't particularly comfortable from what I've been told. It was particularly uncomfortable. He didn't have the greatest of time, and but he's okay. His tooth's out. He's all right. He's recovering. He's got a lot of pain, as expected, but Joe's fine. All right, that's the most important part of the stream out of the way. That being said, today has been an interesting day here at Liam HQ. Hence the stream title, topic, and thumbnail. Right. Where do I go? How do I go with this? Right, okay, so we have talked recently about the fact that we've been looking for a new studio. I'm going to add some context to that later on as to why and what we're trying to do and how we're trying to improve for basically you people. Because we are. I mean, we improve for us, but we also improve for you, right? That's the whole point. The whole goal of the channel, the whole point of the channel, the whole point of what we do here is to entertain you people, try and have you laughing along with us, have you enjoying 40k content, watching games, being involved in chats, being involved in the community, coming for meetups, all that kind of good stuff that comes with what this community is all about, okay? And so the next big step for the channel, realistically, is a studio space. And the reason why is because currently, Talking Head streams are all done here in my office, and it looks quite nice, but it's a mess because I'm surrounded by stuff all the time. And the game streams are done in my little single car garage. Now, some of you in countries like the US of A might be like, a garage is a big space. It's not a big space in the UK. It is a tiny space in the UK. My garage is not very big at all. And so when we have 2 game streams a week with 3 of us in there every single time, it is snug, it is cozy, it is borderline uncomfortable at times, specifically at the height of summer or at the depths of winter, because it's too hot in the summer, it's too cold in the winter, and we just get on with it, and we try and make sure we bring entertainment to you people. Now, when I started the live streaming, I actually didn't originally intend to move into game streaming, and so this has just kind of been the best we can possibly do with the space available to us. The problem with commercial property here in the UK is it's also not the cheapest, and so we have needed the channel to sustain a level of income for a while to be able to even contemplate moving into some kind of professional studio space so we can start providing you with a better level of entertainment, higher production quality, more camera angles, more types of content, better podcasts, that kind of stuff. Okay? That's basically why we want to do it, and that's what we've required to be able to get there. And we've kind of achieved that this year to a point. There's been some peaks and troughs. The week off showed me, when I was off for a week with COVID, what that showed me was I can't take a week off because that really fucking stung. And to be able to afford what is expensive commercial property here in the UK, I need to not have things like that. The other thing as well is I live on the south coast. Now, I know I could move, absolutely. I could move somewhere else, and commercial property would be cheaper if I moved somewhere else. But south coast commercial property is quite expensive because of where we are, because of the type of people typically that live down here. However, if I was to move up north to get a cheaper commercial property, you know what? You lose Joe, you lose Brom, you lose Paddy, you lose Chris, you lose Eddie, and no one really wants that, right? Everybody wants to keep the team together, and so, you know, that's why we need to stay down here, and that's why we need to find something locally. I've been looking for a while. For a long time, I've been trying to find a decent solution for a studio space down here on the south coast. And last month, maybe a month before, I thought I'd found something. And we put an offer in on a place. And that offer was unfortunately declined because another client came in on the space and offered better than what we were going to be able to offer. Because what I don't want to do is bankrupt us. Now, I have to be completely brutally honest with you people. There is still a risk this bankrupts us. There is. If we take this property on and in the next 12 months revenue drops off a cliff, everyone hates 40k and people go and start playing chess instead of 40k, we're in trouble. I'm in trouble, more importantly, me specifically. However, I think we need to take the gamble. I think we need to move into this next space to be able to offer you the kind of content that we want to offer you, that me and the team have been talking about, the improvements we want to make, the things we want to do, the space that we need. So we continued to hunt, and the estate agent originally informed us that our first offer on that place I had found had been declined, said, hey, I've got this other space that you might be interested in. And if you do look at the thumbnail, then you will see the space that he was alluding to. It was cheaper, actually, than the one that I had originally put an offer in on, which made it instantly attractive. So I went and saw it, and it's equidistant from where I live compared to the other one. It's a big open plan space, as you can see. Importantly, it has air conditioning. Very, very, very important for people like Joe. It has air conditioning. It has access all day and evening. That kind of stuff. So, on the surface, at least, it seemed great. I put an offer in. That offer took a while to be negotiated. There was some back and forth with myself and the property's landlord until we got to what would be considered an agreement. And then I was informed as to how commercial property works here in the UK. So to write up the lease contract, it needs to go to the landlord solicitor, and we're talking months in the UK for this to be ready. I was talking to Titans about it, and Brian was absolutely baffled. He said we went and saw the space, and the same day signed the lease and got the key. Literally the same day. I was like, that's not how it works here. Not how it works. So the solicitor would need to write it up. And I was informed that this was going to probably be a minimum of a 2 to 3 month wait for them to get it all written up, and for my solicitors to kind of check it, and for there to be back and forth and all that kind of stuff that solicitors do to be able to charge us more money. Until today, chat. Today, that all changed. So what I wasn't aware of, because this is a new venture to me and I haven't ever been into commercial property on my own before, is that there are a couple of different ways in which you can write up and sign leases. I'm not going to bore you with details of looking into this today, because it took me by surprise. I was a bit shocked. I was a bit aghast by what was thrown at me today by the estate agent. They'd spoken to the landlord after I put forward my offer, my plan, and what I was going to do with the space, what the channel was, proving my revenue, all that kind of stuff. They took it to the landlord. He's looked over it. They obviously agreed on the terms that we'd negotiated, but the landlord's come back and said, hey, there's a different way we can do this. Now, because you're not looking at making major structural changes to the property, because you're not looking at a license, because you're not looking at this, you're not looking at blah, 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 you're just going to move in there, put some lights and cameras up, do a little bit of decorating, and build yourself a few sets. We actually don't need to get solicitors to write out a full commercial lease. What we can, in fact, do is this other thing, of which the name I've already forgotten. But we can do this other thing. And if you want to do that other thing, the email I got today from the estate agent was, we could have you in there. I hope you're all sat down. We could have you in there as early as next week. Hence the face of a man that's panicking slightly. Now, there's no way and the reason why they've done this is because the landlord checked with his solicitor, who said, for this, you're looking at 3 to 6 months. 3 to 6 months. And I was like, I mean, if that's what it takes, that's what it takes. But the landlord said, no, there's no reason why we can't get these guys into the property sooner, which is amazing. It's incredible. I'm incredibly excited, but also I was expecting at least 2 to 3 months. I thought I had 2 to 3 months of squirreling money away and getting ready. You know how I told you the other week, chat, that I wasn't gonna crowdfund or kickstart the studio because I didn't want to do that. I'm still not going to do that. But I was like, I thought I had more time to squirrel money away. So when we got our hands on the place and I started to buy new tables and lights and stuff like that, I would have some money there. Next week, potentially. So you'll notice in the pinned comments, I'm not going to do a crowdfunder. I'm going to put that on. I'm going to put that out there now. One of the big reasons right now why I'm not going to do a crowdfunder is I absolutely do not have the time to be able to set up tiers and give you guys what I would think would be reasonable rewards, whether that be dice trays or dice bags or t-shirts or whatever. Like the things like Tactics did. There's no way I can do that in time now. I don't have the time to get all that set up, to get manufacturers ready, to get products made. I just don't have the time to do that because we could be in there as early as next week. So I have done, if you've noticed, and there is zero requirement to do this. There is absolutely zero need for anybody to hit this button whatsoever. Do not feel obliged at all. But if you look at the pinned comments, or if you look at the first line in the video description, and this will be the first line in the video description for the coming weeks, there is a paypal.me link. If you want to donate something towards the studio, if you want to. You don't have to. If you want to, you can click that link, donate direct to PayPal. PayPal will take a small fee, but what they don't take is YouTube's 30% cut. And if you want to get involved that way, you're more than welcome to. There may be something that I try and look to do in the future with names and membership tiers or whatever. I don't know. Like, you know how Titans do the Emperor tier and they all go on stickers on the wall? It's brilliant. I don't want to just plagiarize that because I'd feel bad. So I want to do something a bit different rather than just copying. But fuck me, I shat myself. I absolutely shat myself. It could be next week we get the key. So here's my loose plan right now. And don't worry, Luce is actually going to join us soon as well. She's just bathing the children and getting them ready for bed. Here's my loose plan right now. My loose plan is we get the keys and I kind of panic in September. October, we will spend moving in and setting up. But what we'll do is we'll keep the stream set up in the current studio so we'll be able to continue to bring you 40k game content. And what we'll have to do in the new studio is we'll have to build our framework for the lights, for the cameras, etc. But not actually move things like lights and cameras across. And then November, I would very, very, very much like to go live with the new studio and a new battle report.
Here are some funds for the new studio. Thank you for the content, you bloody legend. A week to go for the 40 hours of 40k charity event.
Amazing. Thank you, Craig. Thanks for the 10, man. That 40 hours of 40k charity event. If you're involved, give me some links.
Service. Waving hand. Hello. Very nice. A small gift for the good work in the studio. Cheers from Jer.
Thanks so much, Thomas Martin. You're a hero. I love you. Thanks for the 10. You guys are incredible. Like, this isn't... You don't to be clear, I need it to be very, very clear. You don't have to super chat. You don't have to give memberships. You don't have to donate. It's just going to make me slightly more comfortable when I'm buying new stuff, cameras, lights, etc. A little bit less panicky. I thought I had 3 months to squirrel away at least. And then when he was like, oh, this was only 3 to 6 months, I thought I had longer.
A little late, but your garage isn't 10 feet by 20 feet?
No, my garage is barely bigger than the fucking game table, Mandy. Have you not seen it? It's not very big. £500 gets to choose a tattoo for Eddie. I'd be up for that. I don't think he would. So yeah, so you know, we can treat this stream like a mini fundraiser, I guess, and talk about it a little part. You know, talk about it a little bit. I'm happy to do that. I want to talk about the space because I'm incredibly. I need to like. I need to be clear that the title's mildly clickbaity by saying I'm absolutely terrified, but it's not completely clickbaity because I am in fact absolutely terrified. I will go as far as to say I am more excited than terrified. That's as simple as that. I am more excited than terrified. I am terrified, but I'm more excited than terrified, and I'll explain. Leases here in the UK aren't just, I'm done with this, I hand it back. You have to sign to a certain amount of time. So, for example, my lease is going to be a 5-year lease, right? With a break clause, so if it's not working for myself or for the landlord, we can break, but only after 3 years, okay? So, we are going to be tied into 3 years, minimum. And it's looking like the studio is going to cost us somewhere in the region of a minimum 20 to 30,000 a year with all of the costs.
I'm mad about 10th becoming 10.1, so here's money for the Joe's Medicine Fund. I'll PayPal a bit over on my next paycheck because that's more easy for the cut.
You don't have to do that, Star Pilot. Thanks so much for the 10. You've done that already. That's plenty. But yeah, we're talking like 20, 30,000, I reckon, over the course of a year, right? Now that's including everything. The internet we're going to need to run the stream, the gas, the electric. We're going to need to heat the studio or cool the studio because Joe exists. The service charge, the business rates, the rent, all those things included. It's going to be expensive for us. But I think we need this. Like I can say no, it's too soon. We can't quite afford it. And then we keep wondering what if, because it's a kind of perfect space, to be fair. And we can keep wondering what if and wondering what if and wondering what if. And then when we're ready, there might not be anything like it available. Prices might have gone up even further. At the time, in the interim, we're not making necessarily better content. We're just not, because we're limited with space. The amount of things we said we could do that, but we can't really do it in the garage. I've got a big robotic arm that you've seen. There's things we want to do. There's things we want to try out. There's things we want to test that we just can't do in our current space. So I'm like, I'm going to take the gamble. I'm going to roll that dice. I am tied in to 60 to 90 grand minimum to be able to pay for the studio for at least the 3 years. And if it doesn't work, I can only break after 3 years. Now, I'm not asking you guys to send me 60 to 90 grand to cover those costs. I'm not asking that whatsoever.
Wait, are you saying that if you move up north, we don't have to see Eddie anymore? There's some lovely places in Lancashire.
You're all horrible about Eddie. Eddie's lovely. We love Eddie, really. And I'm sure there's some lovely places in Lancashire. But I mean, truth be told, Stick Monkey, I quite like it down here too. But Sean, thank you so much for the 10. Yeah. So where was I? What was I saying? Yeah. So we're massively constricted by space. So if we want to add more shows, add more because this is the thing, right? When you donate, when you support, when you gift memberships, when you super chat, you're obviously paying the wages that you know you're paying. And I need to be clear, we've started to take Eddie on at the same. This couldn't have come at a worse time, but I'm still excited. We've started to take Eddie on as well. You may have seen Eddie Short yesterday. There's another one that's going to be going up tomorrow. We've started to take Eddie on. I started to pay him to do more content. We want to bring more and more and more. And there'll be narrative shorts and talk shows and podcasts and more variety of types of games, and hopefully better produced games and all that kind of stuff. Like, I don't want to just make the same content I've made for the last year. I hope you guys know this by now. If you followed the channel for the last 12, 24 months, I hope you guys know that I don't like just leaving it as it is and not trying to improve. I like to continue to improve. And I've been to places. I've been to VT Studio. I've been to Lawrence's new place. I've seen Tabletop Titans' studio. I've been to Mini Wargaming over the last year and a half, 2 years, and I've seen what they're doing with their incredible spaces, and I'm like, this is where I want us to be. This is what we're aiming for. We're aiming for big. We're aiming for good. We're aiming for entertainment. We're aiming for value for money. I want you people to want to pay your membership at £5 simply because you probably get more value out of the channel than you get out of a Netflix subscription. That's where we always want to be. That's what we want to be doing for you people. Okay. This is the next step for the channel. It's very exciting, nerve-wracking at the same time. The whole team is incredibly excited, but also shitting their pants. I think we can make it work. Genuinely, I think we can make it work. But it's going to be a nerve-wracking time, and I'm going to be snowed for the next couple of months trying to get this up and running and ready.
Here's some money to the new studio. I can't wait for bat reps in the new studio, and you are an absolute legend. Keep up the good work. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Fire, fire, fire.
The bigger legend than anyone on the channel, Dante, is the actual community, because we wouldn't be able to do it without you people. Like, you lot, the 200 and nearly 300 people that are watching right now. I haven't even pressed these magical buttons. This is how nervous I am. I'm all over the place today. You magical people that are sat in chat that are donating for the studio, this is why we can do it. So when you're gifting memberships, which you've been doing consistently and regularly for the last 6 months, and when you're super chatting, when you're putting in postcards, I don't want you to ever think that this is going on Liam's next first-class trip around the world, because that's not what's going on. What this is going towards is more stuff for Joe, more money for Joe, money for Eddie. Yesterday I put in another £200 order for towel for Paddy, because we're expanding the towel, because people have suggested they want to see new units, and so I've bought all that stuff. It's now going to go into this space, more cameras, more camera angles, more setups, more sets. I've got money. I've got some money aside. We want to build a nice podcast. If you guys if you haven't seen Titans, I don't know, you must have been under a rock. But for me, those guys are, in my personal opinion, pretty much the gold standard right now. I'd love to try and catch up their quality. You know, their talk show with a nice sofa and a chair and a table, it just looks a little bit nicer than what we could do with the Liam and Joe show behind the table. One of the reasons, fun fact, chat, you're going to hate me for this. I know you are. One of the reasons why I stopped the Liam and Joe show is I hated the quality of it. Two men stood behind the table. We were also knackered by the end of the day. Stood behind the table for an hour and a half, Liam and Joe show, and then get ready for the game, and then stand behind the table and play a game. We were knackered. So I don't want to do that, right? We want better. I want to give you better. I want high quality. I want people to go, this channel's decent. Why wouldn't I hit that subscribe button? Why wouldn't I become a member out of my own choice? Why wouldn't I do that? Talking about members, I've missed some things here, chat, and I need to update. Right, I said thank you so much, Zero Effect Craig, for the 5 gifted. You're a hero. Trout, thank you so much for the 50. Tyler, thank you so much for the 50 gifted. That's incredibly generous. Andy, thank you for becoming a member all by yourself. That's amazing. And Durgrim Bloodbeard, thank you so much for the 5 gifted. 61 new members tonight already is amazing in 21 minutes. without even Toilet Dice being here. Thank you guys so much. You people are incredible. I've also missed a couple of super chats. So Tony Winnick, thank you for the drooling mouth, I think I'm going to call that one. Dave, thank you for the 2. France is just too expensive. Move north. No, you got bad weather. Datsun Des, thank you for the 5. Name your tabletop warlords characters after channel donors supporters. I am open to suggestions for what we could do for donors and what that might look like. I haven't got time to set up a crowdfunding now.
Wait, money for Eddie? How do I pull back super chats?
Right, chat, right. Eddie's a good guy. And he's funny and he's creative and I like him. Okay? He's not going to go anywhere. He's amazing. He's not going to go anywhere. Honestly. We love him dearly. Actually, bringing Eddie in is going to help me because Eddie has a background in editing. We were talking about this over a year ago and then selfishly he had a baby. How could he? And we've only recently reignited this conversation again because if you've seen the studio space on the thumbnail, it would be an echoey, empty space with just Joe and I in there. And I would like for it to become, at some point, Eddie's place of work as well, if I'm honest. Genuinely. I can't afford... This sounds awful on Eddie and Joe's part, so excuse me, you two, if either of you are watching or listening. I can't afford Brom, Paddy and Chris, their wages that they're on currently in their current jobs. I can't afford to pay them. If they wanted to come and do this, they'd have to want to come and do this and take a pay cut in the future. So in terms of permanent members of staff, my goal within the next 12 months is not only to be in this new studio, but to have Eddie, Joe and myself as our 3 permanent members of staff. That's where I'd like to be. Have a wall in the studio, standalone or an actual wall, with all the names written on of donors in some cool Viking style. I'd like to get them actually engraved one-shot, Will. Like, I had talked to... So I've got some friends at a place called Factorium. You might have heard me talk about it before. They do lots of...
The Titans might be the gold standard, but you have a better taste in meat.
I do try. Thank you, Durgrim. I'm not drinking it tonight because I'm up early tomorrow for other things. So I'm only on tea and juice, I'm afraid. But tomorrow night we'll be back on the mead and we'll celebrate the new studio. Tonight I'll talk about how shit scared I am. And tomorrow we'll celebrate it. So I know these people at Factorium who do engraving. Like they can do proper engraving. And what I'm thinking about doing is getting them to engrave like house brick, not house brick size, but house brick style tiles with I don't know how we would do it exactly, but something like Great Hall Thunder or I don't know what the words we would use. And then we would pick a wall in the studio and we would build it with these wooden tiles as a brick wall, and each tile, which would be a brick, would have a person's name on it. I thought about doing that. Maybe. I don't know if that's a good idea or a terrible idea though. That's something I thought about doing. It might be a dumb question, but narrative campaign. So Tyler, it's not a dumb question. Genuinely, it's not a dumb question. We've thought about narrative campaigns and we've thought about crusade campaigns. We've thought about all these things. And it sounds stupid. Genuinely, this sounds stupid, right? But we don't have the space. It's the biggest problem. We don't have an area to film B-roll. We don't have an area to keep all of our paperwork and admin out the way because...
This is incredible. So happy for you. I think give it 3 years you will be that gold standard. The channel of choice keeps swinging.
Thank you so much, Kai. I think it will take us maybe longer than 3 years, to be honest with you. Honestly, I think it will take us longer than 3 years because they're so far ahead of us in terms of quality. I don't know if I'm going to get there anytime soon. But that's like I don't want to aim high. I'm not a person who will ever have the that'll do attitude. Oh, that'll do. Like it currently irks me the way we showcase the mission on games at the moment. It really bugs me deep down. I haven't had the time to do anything else with it yet, but we will. We'll do something else with it soon. But it genuinely irks me that that's the standard that you guys are getting from us, and I'm not happy about it. So I'm going to have to do something soon to try and fix that up. But I've been talking to Titans about maybe buying their software for the way that they do it and skinning it in our own style and look. So it's similar software, but it looks branded to us, you know, because that'll do is not a thing I can ever live with. And I think, do you know what? I honestly think if I was happy with that'll do, I wouldn't worry about a studio because we do kick out games and we do kick out talking heads. But yeah, genuinely, the things like like narrative campaigns, we would probably need to document what's going on and keep track of what's going on, because we almost wouldn't, definitely do it day after day, game after game after game after game. It makes sense to break it up and kind of spread the content out. We don't really have anywhere to put that right now. I'll take a video. I'll put a video on YouTube for the Haskell tiers, a behind the scenes video, and I'll show you that studio. Oh my God. It is mad. I'm sorry my US $100 didn't fully convert to that much on PayPal for you, but I sent you some. Don't stop apologising. Oh wait, Liam, so I should reduce my membership to the $5 one. Why would you do that? Why would you say that to me, Colonel? Stop it. Stop it. Don't say things like that to me. Oh, I've only got you on top chat, so I haven't got you on live chat right now. I need to put you on live chat, because otherwise I miss messages. Right, so where else are we? Dan, wish you were in the States. I work in a machine shop with industrial laser engravers. Well, this is what the Factorum can do for me as well. I mean, thank you so much, the great Shami, as well. That's amazing for you to offer. Is that like the Bastion wall, like we did? No. Someone said it's like this the stadium wall at Southampton Football Club. Yeah, kind of. If you know what that wall looks like, that's what we would do. Liam, Steve has upgraded his membership, but not showing in stream. Oh, wow, Steve, thank you so much for upgrading. It isn't showing in stream, you're right. Maybe if I refresh. Boop, let's refresh. Is it going to work or is it going to break? View activity. Nope, it's not showing up. Okay, well, I'll take your word for it, Steve. Thank you so much. You're a hero. What a legend for upgrading your membership.
Okay, you could just take the compliment. Maybe 50 years, then only kidding. I'm well happy for you. You can tell you're wired. I don't think you've stopped to breathe yet. Smiley face.
Oh, well, I got the email through at like, I don't know, 3, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I had just, so I drove to Warminster this morning to go and see Mr. the Stephen Box and give him some Titans Terrain to do some content with. Had a conversation with him and a coffee. Drove back down here, did some work at the computer for half an hour, 40 minutes. And then I went to the gym because I'm trying to also get fit and drop a bit of weight at the same time because I'm far too fat. And then I got home from the gym and that's when the email came through and I shit myself. Quite literally. I was like, oh my fucking God. Because when someone says to you, right, this process is going to take probably 3 to 6 months. You go, okay. So we're talking minimum of 3 months. So we're now in September. So we're talking at best, we're going to get in there Christmas time. And then we're going to take maybe 2 to 4 weeks to get it all set up and ready to go, like a month or so. So we're actually probably talking about launching content in the new year, probably January. But he said 3 to 6 months, so it could be later. It could be sort of February, March time. It's not a complicated lease. So logically, it shouldn't take too long. But let's aim off, roughly, for kind of... for January, February time. And then I spoke to Titans and said, hey, would you like to come over for the launch of the new studio? And they said, yeah, we'd love to come over for the launch of the new studio. So I was probably looking at the earliest January time. So we've got some time. And I'm going, oh, by the way, we could be getting the keys next week. And it's like, oh, fuck. I mean, that's kind of my response. Yes, absolutely. So it just kind of accelerates everything. And everybody who thought they had some time, like my time's gone now. I'm looking at the next 2 months and I'm going, this is going to be shit. I mean, it's going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy impressive. Crazy impressive. It's going to be crazy amazing as well. Look at me saying impressive straight away. We don't know that. It's going to be crazy amazing at the same time, but also shit. And I cannot tell you, with the work that's gone in, and it, for some people, it looks like the work's gone in over the course of the last 18 months plus since we started going live. I'll be honest with you. It's. When I started doing this in 2017, I absolutely had no intent to take this to the point where it would pay my wages. No intent to do that whatsoever. When we started the crazy train that was Deployment Zone with Winters and I was hoping at that point it could pay for our hobby. That's what we talked about. We genuinely talked about, if this can fund our hobby comfortably, we've done okay. And then it got to the point where it was able to kind of support 2 households as well. And I thought that was probably the ceiling for us, to be honest with you. And I always was pretty kind of convinced that would be the ceiling for us. Now, that went bad. That went south. And somehow, it kind of still got to a point where now, 6 months after that went south, and I'll be honest with you, chat, when the DZ thing happened in March, genuinely now, and Luce will attest to this, I spent maybe 3 to 4 nights after streams on Indeed, which is a job seekers website essentially here in the UK, seeing if there was something about. Because I was really concerned that, oh, okay, the bubble's burst, the dream's dead, this happened, we've had some fun, had a couple of years, we've had some fun, we're done now, that's cool. And you lot pulled it back for us, which is unbelievable to say the least, and was humbling and was very emotional at the same time. And it's happened a few times, you know, a few times I've got quite fucking emotional because of you people, and I don't like to be emotional. I don't know if you know me, I don't like to be an emotional individual. That's not something I typically do very often. But you pulled it back a few times for us. And now we're in a position where this crazy thing could actually fund and support more than one household. I've said to you already, I was with Lawrence last Thursday, and I was talking to Lawrence, and I went for a coffee and a chin wag because he's a friend and I like the guy. That man is also where I want to be in the future. He has 7 members of staff. He supports 7 people's lives with this thing that he does. I'd love to do that. I'd love to be there. And it might not necessarily be Brom and Paddy, for example, that I fund because those two earn more than I could probably afford. But imagine if we get to expand the team. Imagine if we get to bring more people in and support their lives. At the same time, hopefully, having a genuinely positive impact on other people's lives because we offer entertainment, escapism, laughs, giggles, community, friendship, brotherhood, all that kind of stuff. I know it sounds fucking cheesy. I know it does. I know it sounds cheesy. I know there's still people to this day who go onto YouTube and they want a video every single day, but they don't want to pay a penny for it. Why should I pay for YouTube? Well, because people are actually giving up a lot of time to be able to make this content for you. Videos, I want to get back into doing pre-recorded stuff in the future, but that is a huge time sink, a monumental time sink. So if I can record stuff with myself and Eddie, for example, and give that to Eddie to edit in the future because, you know, he's on payroll and I can go and do something else at the same, like there's so many benefits, and we can't do that right now as well. That's something we can't do right now because we don't have the space to do what I want to do. We don't have the space to change up to a Talking Heads podcasty set. We don't have the space to change up to a different type of filming. We just don't have that. And not only can we have that in the new studio, but we can also have the ability to literally give him the footage and be like, there you go. He can edit in the studio with me around and be like, can you just have a quick look at this? Are you happy with it? At the moment, what we do is digital. Eddie will tell you. He's in chat right now. Eddie will tell you he made this short on Monday that we went live with on Wednesday. We went live with yesterday. And we were back and forth with Google Drive links for fucking 3 hours until I was actually happy to put it up on the channel. And he was amazing because he made every change I asked. But it's a pain in the arse when you could just be in the same office as someone and be like, just tweak that bit and change that font. Cool, good. We're good to go. And so building stuff like narrative campaigns, narrative content, pre-recorded combat patrol stuff, Blood Bowl, fucking kill team, all that kind of shit, so much easier when we're all in the same space and we've all got the space to be creative, to make what we want to make. Stick my if I'm loose, we'll talk about our feelings quick. I mean, we are a little bit, yeah. Liberty Fires, thank you so much for the 5 gifted, you incredible, incredible human being. Thank you so much. Yes, I did call tonight's membership goal new studio members and double the target for one night only. I'm just trying my luck, chat, right? Just trying my luck. Have you considered filming the set building and construction, etc. for videos too, turning that into content? Right, so I'm tempted to do something. I'm going to ask you guys now whether I should or shouldn't do this, and I think I know the answer already, but I'm going to ask. This, as you well know, is a mobile phone with a filming camera on it. I have done a lot of content in the past with this and filming content with it. I don't like to do this. I'm not a fan. I don't like the way it looks. I don't like the way it sounds. I don't like any of it. I don't like the way it colours. I much prefer to use proper cameras, as I'm sure you're all aware. Okay. I'm just not a fan of using these. However, that being said, right? That being said, what I've thought about doing is, from the point in which I sign this lease and get the keys, using this and this only to vlog getting the key part to the first game going live, and then making that a video for you lot to see. So it's behind the scenes type stuff. Now, it will be vlogged on a phone. It will be rough, because if I try and make it fancy and use cameras, I will lose interest in doing it. It will become too complicated, and you'll get the first 10 minutes of the whole process, and then you'll get the finished studio. But if I just do it on this and keep sticking it in a folder, 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 it's actually conceivable that I might be able to show you the journey and do the behind the scenes. I assume the answer is yes. Thank you so much, Chaotic Failure, for the 20 gifted. What a fucking hero. You amazing, amazing human being. Thank you. Did you get your... Oh, no, it wouldn't have turned up yet. It would have been dispatched today. I'm going to ask you about something then. Of course, yes, well, I thought so. But I don't know if behind-the-scenes vlogs people actually care about. Right? I'd like to see vlogging the whole setup process. Love it when you're rough, mate. Brilliant. Use the phone, more content. So, I'll explain why I am a bit what's the word, apprehensive about vlog content. I had an idea a number of years ago, about 2 years ago I think it was, for extra DZ content, to do a relatively frequent vlog, not commit to necessarily weekly, but at least do a monthly vlog. And I've contemplated bringing it back on the phone and doing a monthly phone vlog, real rough and ready, but telling people that's what this is, okay? The reason why I'm apprehensive is because we did this for DZ. Winters and I did this. And so one of the things I vlogged was going to his to stream for a day, to film for a day, sorry. And I filmed the morning and getting ready. I filmed getting into the car. I filmed driving to his. Not filmed driving to his because it's illegal, but you get the concept. Filmed meeting him at his house. Filmed the whole process. Filmed him filming. All that kind of stuff, right? Did all that kind of shit so that you guys could see behind the scene. And I had a lengthy, really shitty email, because back then I drove a Jaguar SUV, right? Now, if you know the Jaguar SUVs, they're not actually particularly expensive. In fact, in terms of Range Rover SUV type line, it's bottom of the pile. However, the job that I had at the time, because I was still working a full-time job, issued me a car allowance and told me that I had to have a certain type of car that had to be under a certain age and had to fulfill all these requirements. And one of the ones I could buy was the F-Pace, because it was the one where I basically got the best value for money. And so I ended up with this incredibly long, shitty email about how this person was going to cancel their deployment zone subscription because why should I pay you? I'm paying you to get you out of the factory, and I see you getting into a Jaguar. How dare you do that? Like, this is not why I'm going to give you my money, so I'm cancelling my subscription. And I'll be honest with you, that was enough for me to go, I'm not doing it again. Not doing it again. Not doing it. I don't want that kind of... I don't want people to feel that way, and I don't want to feel that way. I'm not doing it again. Like, that happened. So that's why I'm apprehensive. So if you guys are okay with me walking out the front door, getting into the Ferrari... I'm joking. I'm joking. I wouldn't buy a Ferrari. It's below me. I'm joking. So that's why I'm apprehensive. So you can't please... I know you can't please everyone, and I've grown since then, and I know there's a lot more ignoring of trolls and grumpy, shitty people out there that goes on nowadays, but...
Only want a vlog of the studio stuff if you're wearing something sexy, wink wink.
I'll be behind the camera, Armholio, so I can tell you that I am. Sorry, figured F-Pace is a punishment or what? True, Ghasty, to be honest with you. True. It's a Bugatti, says Dave. I actually don't think I would drive one of those ever. Walking out the front door and hopping on that bike. I mean... so gonna have to rent a Ferrari for the first day of the studio. Yeah, exactly. And rock up. I'm gonna have my own parking space with my name on it. How good's that gonna be? I'm gonna have a little plaque on the front door because it's a 3-story building and there's different offices on each story. I'm gonna have my own little plaque, my own little name on it. We are a better community than those guys. I mean, thank you, but you can kind of see, right? You can kind of see where the... Well, I'd like to think you can kind of see where the apprehension would then come from, because when people behave like that, you're like, I feel like I have for a long time become incredibly private about what I do outside of the channel with whatever would be, declared as kind of spare income. I become incredibly private about it because I don't want to feel shit for working fucking hard and having some kind of success. But that's how I've been made to feel a few times. And it's the odd singular comment, I'll be honest. It's not normally a group of people, but it is the odd singular comment. And I'm like, that makes me feel shitty. And like, ultimately, why do we all work our asses off so we can have nice things? We all want to have nice things. I don't have holidays. I don't dare take holidays. As you guys have seen, I basically don't even take sick time off really anymore. I don't take holidays. I don't have any other hobby. I don't do anything. The one thing I bought hobby-wise outside of 40k is Rivendell, and then I have my bike now, and that's it. I don't do anything else because I'm really concerned about what other people would say. Left you the perfect couch in Discord. You need it. I'll have a look later. 50 people moan, then you may have reason to pause. I know. I'm better now, Kai, to be fair. I'm much better now than I used to be, because I used to take every single individual negative comment to heart, and I don't do that anymore. But I'm much better now than I used to be at going, oh, fuck off. You're just a bit salty or jealous or whatever. But we just get annoyed at your 3 brand new Harleys and the secret Triumph in the background. I wish. I have no Triumph. If you walked and got into bright pink, I didn't say I don't have 3 Harleys. No, I'm joking. If I see it, I'd pay to see you get in and out of an original Mini Cooper. Brilliant, thanks. Will you make a new name for the channel when you get more staff studio and it all grows? I talked about this last night, and Lou says no. I talked about that. Fish Palace. Just cover the studio. What's happening there? Yeah, I think that's what we might do. I think like a studio. Like, here's the thing we could do with the new studio. Here's the thing we could definitely do as content.
If you don't vlog getting to the studio in a Bugatti, I'll do nothing but cry on the inside. Hashtag Bugatti Fund. Hashtag Vlog.
Hashtag Bugatti Fund. That was a great way of saying it. Here's the thing I can try and promise to do. Try and promise to do in the new studio. We could try and agree to bring you guys a monthly vlog behind the scenes in the studio. Now we have to be kind of careful because we get things like NDA content in from GW, for example. However, that's definitely if you guys. So here's the things we've been talking about. So the team's been talking about content, right? Because of the studio that was supposed to be coming early next year. And here's the things we've been talking about. So we wanted to bring you a weekly podcast, which at the very least would be Joe and I, maybe Joe, myself and Eddie as well. Who knows? But we wanted to bring you a weekly podcast where we talk about something 40k. So think Liam and Joe show, but think pre-recorded, edited, shit chopped out when Joe waffles. I'm joking. That's everyone's favourite part. We'll leave it in. But we do a podcast where we talk about what's going on in the world of 40k for that week. And if there's nothing going on, I'm sure we can talk about something. Okay? First piece we're looking at adding. We're looking at adding pre-recorded content, typically for things like combat patrol, kill team, maybe more boarding actions, things that I actually don't think now make great live content, but would be amazing lunchtime viewing when you're on lunch break at work. So maybe adding one of those in every fortnight to start with and hoping to be able to ramp that up to weekly as well. Okay. Continue the 40k show, continue 40k After Dark, continue the 2 streams a week. That won't change. That stuff will continue. Hopefully, the production quality of the 2 game streams would increase dramatically. And then the 40k show on a Wednesday is the one that I want to play with and tweak. 40k After Dark on a Friday will never leave this chair because Luce can be involved because the kids are at home. Okay. Then we're going to add some shorts. We're starting off with 3 a week, hopefully. Narrative shorts where you can just consume some obscure piece of narrative that you might not know about. Hopefully ramping these up to at least 5 to 6 a week. So you get basically 1 a day with the exception of Sundays. I've told you, we've talked about this a lot actually, and what we're looking at doing. And then what we would scatter on top of all of that routine content is things like narrative campaigns, pre-recorded stuff. Okay. So that's the stuff that we've kind of added in. The reason why the podcast would be pre-recorded, for example, is because we could get guests in on the couch and they could talk, and I don't want to completely copy painting phase, of course, but you get the kind of concept, bringing people in to talk about their experiences, their lives, what they like in 40k, all that kind of stuff would be interesting, okay? And then what I could also offer you on top of all that stuff we've just talked about, so if you think about it, like I'm talking about near doubling the amount of content we kick out from the studio, hence needing to bring Eddie in if the studio's going to go live and work, because I just can't do this with Joe and I, because Joe, he doesn't have any finesse with a computer. Let me put it that. It's the most polite way I can put it, right? So I mean, he's great in front of camera. He's great talking about 40k. He's great painting 40k. He's great playing 40k. He doesn't have any finesse with an actual fucking computer, and so I need another person who knows how to use Premiere Pro and Adobe Audition and Photoshop and After Effects. Hence Eddie. And then what I could also potentially commit to is what we add to all of that stuff is a monthly vlog, monthly behind the scenes vlog, rough ready, behind the scenes. This is what's going on at Liam HQ. If you think you want it. The couch man he put in Discord is brilliant. I have to have a look now. Don't I? I hope you've tagged me in it, otherwise I'm not going to ever know. Oh, there is a tag in it at least. Oh my god. Trust you, Manny, to bring it down. Honestly. Trust you to bring it down. So yeah, but that's the plan, right?
Big thumbs up for pre-recorded content. Much better viewing experience for those of us who only rarely get to hang out in the live streams. Behind the scenes would be fun too. Smiley face.
Yeah, I mean, Emil, firstly, thank you so much for the 10, man. You're an absolute hero. And Dave, I missed you. Thank you for the 2. You need a frigging holiday. I don't need a holiday. I love what I do. I'm fine. But I am very conscious at the moment, Emil, that we kind of service one audience. And we kind of only service the live audience. And I'm not saying the live audience is tiny or we've hit our ceiling, far from it. If you think Titans predominantly only service really live audience, they're over 100k, 130k now. Valrak only services a live audience, really. I mean, that's not entirely true, does it? Because he does pre-recorded as well. But I think that for the channel to really, truly grow in the world where there is a sea of other channels offering a sea of other content, we need to diversify a little bit. And part of that is about bringing in pre-recorded. But there's a lot of people who can't watch the lives because of various reasons. They've got family life, they might be working, they live in a different time zone. All that kind of stuff happens and exists. And so one of the reasons why I want to bring pre-recorded back is so we can service that audience as well. And I think that will probably... I honestly believe pre-recorded content and shorts is what's going to increase subscriber growth on the whole. I spend hours looking at numbers and statistics. Hours looking at numbers and statistics, trying to work out what we need to do to be able to see some kind of growth. And honestly, I think that pre-recorded is what we need for growth. So it's coming. I promise you it's coming. How soon it's coming, I don't know. Again, the intent was it would be a new year thing with the new studio, but now we're going to get that sooner. So we'll have to see how quickly we can get that up and running. Have guests in to play games against you, like more 40k game content without having to pay more stuff. So that's another thing we can. This is the thing, Crazy Kill Switch. So it's a great idea and something I'm 100% behind. It's something I've wanted to offer perhaps Thanes and Aces is an opportunity to come to the studio and film some 40k. But right now, the studio is my house and I don't want to... I know you're not strangers because you're Thanes and Aces, but I don't want to... I don't want to invite strangers into my house to film. You can understand I've got 2 young kids, right? However, with the studio, guess what? That's not something that's going to be a problem. So we can open it up. People can, like, I want to give Aces perhaps experience days at the studio. Turn up in the morning, be involved in a podcast, maybe go to lunch, be involved in a pre-recording. I don't know how this works exactly. This is me literally spitballing. But have that kind of experience, and so they can then kind of go away and be like, it was a good day, it was worth me paying this membership fee for 5 months, 6 months. So if you say I'm spitballing, chat, for example, you're an ACER for 6 months, you get invited to a studio day like that, because then it's almost like a payment plan, right, rather than having to pay up front a bunch of money to come and do that for the studio, for example. I love pre-recorded content, so much creative opportunities with scripting, narration, editing, effects. Yeah, exactly. And hopefully not with a phone, of course, as well. But how we do it exactly, I don't know. I genuinely take inspiration. I've said this a million times before. I'm open about this. I copy other people's ideas and try and make them my own, okay? This is me taking Valrak's idea of Talking Head stream and trying to make it my own. The games are me taking Vanguard Tactics and Tabletop Titans idea and trying to make it my own. Pre-recorded, I look at people like Tabletop Tactics and Play On, and we'll see what we can come up with. It might be shit, but we'll try, and we'll take you on the journey with us. I like the Lord of the Rings Lego set in the background. Thank you. That's my Rivendell's my happy place, to be fair. Holy, thank you for the 5. I want a comedy show of Joe being a Luddite with technology. You know, a shaved monkey using a computer. It's not a comedy show. That's just life. I'm Holio. Ian York, thank you for the 5 gifted. We've almost hit the halfway point. Yes, I'm being greedy tonight. Stick Monkey, thank you for the 5. Wait, I'm already outside your house looking at you through your window. Guess I'll go home then. Good luck. My curtains are closed. You'd have known that if you're outside my house. If we come to the studio, can you guys make it like a kidnapping so we never know where the new studio is? I mean, I can tell you where the new studio is now. You can get into it. Could make it. We'll charge extra for a kidnapping. What we'll do, £500 package, right? Here we go. Listen to this. £500 package. And we'll rock up to your house on a Friday, and in front of the wife, we'll stick a bag over your head, bundle you in the back of a van, and kidnap you. You then come to the studio for a weekend, right? And we'll set up a little bed in the studio because it's got a bathroom and it's got a kitchen. Right, I say a kitchen, it's a sink and it'll be a sink and a fridge and a microwave, but it's got a kitchen. And then for the weekend, you get to hang out, play 40k, chat to Joe, be involved in some content, etc. And then what we'll do is on the Sunday night, because you've got work on a Monday, is we'll do a drive by your house and we'll boot you out the side of the van. We'll make sure it's not too brutal so you don't get hurt. Obviously, we'll make sure you're not going to get hurt. So it looks like we just kidnapped you for the weekend. So she won't know what you've been doing. Know where you've been. You've had a 40k weekend away, but without saying to the wife, I'm going for a 40k weekend away. How about that? How about that for a plan? How about that for an idea? That's not fun, Liam. Have a proper kidnapping experience. Hell yes, love it. How do you think you first got me on the channel? Because you're a fucking weasel, Eddie, that's why. Yeah. But what we're doing then is we're charging you money to come to the studio, but what we're doing is we're offering you a legitimate alibi so you can't get in trouble with your better half. You joke, but people would pay that. But they wouldn't. I think it's a great idea. Maybe I've undersold it, chat. Have I undersold it? Is that what I've done? How does that work for us in the US? I don't know. I'm not sure. I'd have to get Titans to do it in the US, right? So we can model it out there as well. That'd be good. That's what we can do. Can I borrow an army? I need to sell my army to avoid to be kidnapped. If I throw an extra 1k, can Joe stay the night and cuddle? Yes, 100%. Yeah. My missus would be like, I didn't pay no ransom. Why are you back? You've just struck up the best money-making idea ever. Great, isn't it?
This is great news. Next level for you and the team, and thoroughly deserved for all your hard work. # teamwork makes the dream work.
Thank you so much. Really. I mean, I deserved is a hard one for me to swallow. Honestly, it's a hard one for me to swallow because I'm like, I don't know about deserved. I know I think I work hard, but I also know that I do 40k for a living, you know, and most of you lot probably do significantly more difficult jobs than I do. So deserved is a hard one to swallow, but the only way that I can kind of justify it, maybe justify it's the right word. The only way I can be at peace with it all is by making sure that we take the opportunity and give back more to you people. Does that make sense? Like that's the way that I can come to peace with it. I don't know where Luce has gone, by the way. She was supposed to come in on this stream tonight. Rimley, thank you for the 5 gifted. You're a hero. 96, 48%. Oh, it actually says a percentage now as well. Look at that. People wouldn't give you money if they didn't want to. No, I know, but still, is this full-time for you now, mate? Tom, I've been full-time for nearly 2 years now. Been full-time for the last, what are we in, September? Nearly 19 months. 18 months I've been full-time for. And it's an interesting journey, but everything's done from home. So, you know, it's been 18 months of me expecting the rug to be pulled and me to try and have to go and get another job at some point in the near future. So, you know, it's amazing. It's incredible, but it's terrifying at the same time. Every ounce and sweat of work is much appreciated. Thank you. So, yeah, stop it. It's not. What we do is fun. I'm just glad that we are able to entertain you people at the same time. That's the key. Anyway, I've given you the content plan, right, for the studio. I'm curious, without offering any promises, anything else you think you'd like to see from a new studio. So, let me explain, okay? I've got other ideas in my mind. On top of what I've already told you. So the first thing we're going to do, the first thing we're going to focus on is setting up the new gaming space for the new Tuesdays and Thursday games, right? Okay. The next set will be the podcast set. Chair, sofa, casting couch, table, that kind of thing, right? We also need to set up what's called a B-roll area. And if you don't know filming or videography, B-roll is the accompaniment footage that happens. So when you see it switch to a nice camera panning across the front of models, that's B-roll. What we need is a B-roll area, because at the moment, if we do any B-roll, what we have to do is take everything off the gaming table, use the gaming table, put everything back on the gaming table. It's horrendous, okay? So we need a B-roll area, right? I was thinking about setting up an area, and it's going to take me some effort to train this fucking idiot, but a table area where Joe can do some painting shorts, for example, for how he paints his Black Legion, or how he paints his Flesh Tearers, or how he painted the Votan. Okay. So I'm thinking about setting that up. I haven't promised you that in the content yet, but do you care about that kind of stuff? You know? Do you care about that kind of stuff? Would you like to see that kind of stuff? I think the answer is probably yes. But if you've got any other stuff that you want to see, let me know. Okay? I can wear a bra and be a table girl. You'd be a fucking great table girl, Chris. 24-hour stream is a must-have. We could do a marathon at some point. A charity. It would be for charity, though. It have to be. If it wasn't deserved earned, we wouldn't be here in green, and the opportunity of a studio wouldn't even be a twinkle in a bead of sweat rolling. Joe in the garage, amazing. 40k AOS. AOS is something we're looking at. Killzone, Blood Bowl we're looking at. After Dark, that's plenty. Thanks, Lewis. Biggie, thank you for the gifted. Bedtime story with Joe, please. Mini drone footage. Sounds fun. And I do have a drone. Show idea. Crappy British food and Joe. Joe painting. Yes. Painting shorts. Yes. More Joe is always better. Bolt action is something Joe definitely wants to do. If he paints my 101st Airborne, we can probably bring that to the channel. Probably. Maybe. Potentially. Painting is always good content. Bar 40k pub night. Sounds good. More Joe, more. Well, I mean, pub night's difficult because I'm going to have to ride or drive to work now. Do you know what, chat? I don't want to be an ungrateful fucker. Do you know how excited I am to have to go to work in the future and be able to separate work and home a little bit at least? Apocalypse bat reps. That's interesting. We probably have the space to do that. Joe is very talented. I fucking love his Blue Legion. More Joe more often. Maybe a more chilled video where you play something different and have a beer, like the Aliens Colonial Marine board game, for example. So I'd like to bring more different tabletop games to the channel in the future. So, and I mean outside of Games Workshop as well. Legion, Shatterpoint, Bolt Action, Battletech. They're all things I'd like to bring. So we could have like maybe fortnightly to start with, or maybe even monthly, like a specialist game section where we touch on something different that isn't just 40k. I'll be honest. That sounds cool. Combat Patrols, miniature 100% doing Combat Patrol. That's one of the things I want to do. Don't like Bolt Action, but make Joe very happy, make him so happy. Necromunda, yeah. Star Wars Legion, 100%. I'd like to bring Star Wars Legion. Necromunda, I love the Necromunda model range. I've got the Ashen Waste stuff here. I don't know how the fucking game plays, but there's something we could do on the channel. A lot of this stuff allows us to go in and do them pre-recorded, which allows us to make mistakes. So some of this stuff I've not wanted to, like, I don't want to put Star Wars Legion on stream, for example, because I think we might get it horrifically wrong. Lego build stream. I could happily just make a channel on Lego, Jack, honestly, but it's probably one of the few things out there that's arguably more expensive than 40k. How easy was that? Just walk next door and my pizza get it delivered from next door. I live next door to a kebab shop. See, I'm jealous. I do miss Tabletop Titans. Spin the wheel now that you mention it. That was a cool concept for a show. Hey, Lucy, you coming and joining or not? What were you doing? Were you having a big poo? What were you doing? I can ask her that question once the microphone's not plugged in. I want to get the whole team together one stream for a game of D&D. But again, Eddie, we can do that pre-recorded. We don't have to do it live either, so we can cut out all the shit. Because you know D&D is going to be full of dead space, so we can cut out all the nonsense and edit something nice together. New channel, Lego Dempsey. But doing D&D as a perhaps monthly thing is not out of the question either. You're happy with where it is? Yeah. And on the hour after the stream started, you're in for a treat because Lucy's here.
I said I was doing all the evening bits.
What evening bits? I thought we'd done all the evening bits.
Walking the dog, bathing the boys, putting the bins out.
Oh, I didn't know you'd walk the dog or put the bins out. We could have done the bins after the stream. Chat's here waiting for you.
Well, I'm sorry.
Not sorry. Not sorry. Pre-recorded D&D sounds funny, 100%. More times than maybe. I just like playing fucking games, so I don't really care. D&D, but Luce is the dungeon master.
Oh no. I'd be the one going, I need the rule book. I don't know what I'm doing.
As a dungeon master, yeah.
Everybody gets 10 points. I don't know what I'm doing. See?
It's not Harry Potter.
That's it.
10 points to Gryffindor, Luce. That's not how it works. Chat plays is the dungeon master. Yeah, well, yeah. Perhaps. I think D&D would be cool though. I think it'd be fun. I'd like to see, I would actually really like to see, genuinely like to see Brom do D&D because I think he'd be well out of his comfort zone.
You reckon?
Yeah, because you have to kind of be a bit in character for D&D, don't you?
Oh, okay.
You have to kind of role play your character a little bit. You have to be kind of creative. Yeah, you have to be kind of creative. Like you can't just go and follow a set of rules. You kind of like, if you go in with D&D expecting to kind of be guided the way to do things, you're just going to sit there doing nothing. You have to say, I'm going to do this, and then you roll a dice to see what happens, or whatever. You have to be a bit creative with D&D. So I would absolutely love to see Brom do D&D because I think he'd be well out of his combat zone. Phil says, Lucy, we've been sharing our feelings.
Oh, are we?
No.
Oh.
War Master Will, thank you for the 2. I've been a member for 2 years now. That means you are a massive throbbing member. That means that you must have a red and blue logo.
I love hearing about War Master Will's work mishaps.
They're
much fun.
Thanks for the 2. Here's the down payment, $618.25 left for the kidnapping. I came up with a business idea with the new studio, Luce.
Okay.
£500.
Right.
Right. We'll drive to your house on the Friday in a van. Right.
Okay.
Put a fucking sack over your head and bundle you into the van and go. Right.
Right.
So the wife or husband or whoever sees you get kidnapped, bring you to the studio, set up a little bed. It's got a toilet in it. It's got a little kitchen in it. Whole weekend of gaming. Get to talk with Joe. Maybe he'll cuddle you for the night. I don't know. Play some 40k. All that. And then on the Sunday, we'll drive back to your house and boot you out the side door.
I want to hate you for the idea, but I think you might actually be onto something.
That's what chat said. That's it. Like 500 quid and you've got yourself an alibi. What I think I've done, actually, to be honest with you, is undersell it. I think I've wildly undersold that, to be honest with you, because everyone's gone, I'd pay for that. Like, fuck, I should have put a higher price on it.
Yeah, damn it.
Yeah, so I think that's the new studio funding idea, quite honestly. That's how we're going to do it. We're going to offer to kidnap people. Legally, of course, with consent. Yeah. For an extra fee, maybe we could probably give you a bit of a black eye so it's more believable. You know. Perhaps. £500, that's cheap travel for me.
Oh, Asbo. Loose. Guess what? What?
I guess not.
I want to know if you still quit smoking and how much we're up to.
Tony Winnett says he's been a member for 1 year, 1 month, and 1 day. That's cheap just for the travel costs. Right. So, okay. I've undersold myself again, chat. All right. Perhaps we'd have to add the fuel costs onto it, depending how far away you are, because it's significantly easier to kidnap someone in Southampton than it will be to kidnap someone in fucking Cumbria, Dave. You don't have to do it one person at a time. We can... It's a van. We can just do a round robin on a Friday night, just bundle people in the van.
1 year. Asbo's been quit smoking for 1 year.
Congratulations, Asbo. That's incredible. Amazing. Have you got that little app that tells you how much like lung capacity you get back as well?
Yeah. So my friend, she's quit smoking 4 days ago, and I said to her about this app, and I said, "There's obviously, I think it was like 7 years it takes your lungs to completely recover, but there's tons of little milestones in between. Things like your eye health will get better, your sense of smell, sleep's better, everything.
Yeah.
Apart from the financial incentive that you've saved all this money."
I mean, I'd like to know about his financial incentive and where it's at if he wants to share what the app has told him he's saved. But congrats, Hasbro, you're a legend. Interlava is also a legend, gifting 10 of the finest memberships. We're over halfway now. You people are amazing. Thank you so much. Friday Night Gaming got hardcore. If I do this, what's the closest airport to the studio? It will be Southampton Airport. We have our own airport. You fly in.
Is it kidnapped if you're a grown person?
Well, what else is it going to be called? Man-napped.
Man-napped.
That's what I have. Milestones help. £4,800 saved in a year. I mean, that's actually a lot, isn't it, to be fair? What
does the app says about your health? What has now totally recovered, what's a little bit recovered, and what's your next milestone in your health recovery? Because that would be really interesting.
Kev says £500, but you will kidnap plasterers, electricians, and paint and decorators. I mean, to be honest with you, if you've got some of those skills, I might even kidnap you for free. Come and help us with the studio. Don't forget, not smoking makes you wonky work. No more blue pills. That's amazing. Claps in chat for Asbo, by the way. A year
Absolutely.
Cigarette free is amazing. Well done. Genuinely well done.
It could be #Liam Dempsey man-napped me.
Man-napped? I'm not sure I like this. Stephen, thank you for the 5. Luce, are you planning on getting another allotment or working on a new garden?
So, I think, now you mention it, Stephen, I don't think I've had the attack of the long COVID fatigue for about a week.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's not crossed my mind. I've not had to go upstairs for a nap, and I've not dropped anything, bumped into anything. I think I'm now, touch wood, getting over it. But me and Jim Jam chatted about properly leaning into the garden, because our garden's not particularly child-friendly. It's got stairs, there's no grass. So I think we're just going to lean into growing stuff in the garden.
Smeg for Brain has called it nerd-napped.
Nerd-napped.
Yeah, I like that one.
Nerd-napped by Liam Dempsey. Oh, I like that one better.
#Liam man-napped me has started as well. No, we're not man-napping people. That's not happening, right? It's not going to be a thing. That's not going to happen. Okay. It is wonderful news, by the way, as well. But well done, man. I remember when you started the quitting thing, and we talked about it on stream. So I'm really chuffed for you, dude. And $5,000 a year is no small feat either.
No,
by the
not
way,
at all.
That's significant. So hopefully you have at least kept some of it to treat yourself to something. Not a cigarette, to be clear. Last milestone is chance of lung cancer returns to a half of someone who hasn't smoked but takes 10 years. I mean, you're on the road though, right?
Yeah, that's it.
You're only going in the right direction. Damn it, laughing made me mistype. We aim to please. Would make an awesome short video though. Man-napping people, nerd-napping people.
Do you know, Asbo's comment makes me think of that picture that when you're looking ahead and your goal seems so far away, well, look behind you, look how far you've come.
Yeah.
Don't worry how far away it is. Look how far you've come.
This is part of what we were talking about earlier as well. Like I said to chat, some of these people have been hanging around in the chat for the last 2 to 3 months. Some of them for 6 months plus. Some of them have been members for nearly 2 years now. And you know, we only really started streaming about 2 years ago, just under actually. I think it was. Oh no, actually, maybe it's 2 years ago now. I think it was September actually. We started when I handed my notice in at Rolls Royce. It was because it's a 3-month notice period. It was at the end of September. Yeah. So it's 2 years ago now. Actually, we're basically celebrating 2 years ago me handing my notice in at Rolls Royce and leaving my senior manager's job to do this.
No, it wasn't 2 years ago.
Because I had to give 3 months notice. Which finished in on the 14th of on the 12th of January. So we are actually getting close to celebrating the 2 years ago, I handed my notice in to leave my job and do this full time.
Oh my god.
Now, we'd only been streaming maybe a 2 to 3 months before that. Before I went, I'm gonna go. Maybe a little bit longer, maybe like since the June. But yeah, it was honestly 2 years ago I handed my notice in, and I think at the very start back in 2017 in the last house with Ben asleep on the sofa as a newborn baby in his little Moses basket, and me going, what am I going to do when I'm sat here bored on my own at 2 o'clock in the morning waiting for him to wake up for a feed? I might as well just make some YouTube videos. Did I think 6 years later we'd be looking at moving into a studio space and having employees? If you'd have told me that back when I started in that little house, on that little sofa, on that little brown fucking chair with that stupid first video that you won't let me delete, you said to me, you can have a studio with multiple sets in it and have staff. That's the same. Like, that's the same as the 10-year cancer reduction by half thing. Like, I would never see it. But that's so far away. It's impossible. Not going to happen. Not going to happen. And then look where we are now. It's mad, isn't it?
This whole different route that your career has taken, this family's taken. If you'd have said 2 years ago, name your bet, where do you think you'll be in 2 years? I'd have said exactly where we are now, because things are good. We're plodding along quite nicely. Would never have thought this.
Yeah, no, I'm the same, honestly. Because obviously, some of you don't know, chat. Some of you do. I'll give you a very, 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 very brief rundown of my professional career. I joined the army 2005 when I left college, and did that till end of 2014. End of 2014, I finally left the forces because we had a child, and I didn't like going away anymore with a child at home. I think a lot of people would probably understand that. So we left. When I was in the forces, I was a qualified aircraft engineer. I used to work on Apache helicopters, so I was used to spanners and tools and stuff. And so what I did when I left the army, and I was based up in Ipswich, which is north of London, for those of you that aren't from the UK, is I then joined the underground as a contractor, working spanners on shift work, 12-hour shift work, days and nights, if you remember rightly. Did that for probably a year and a half before I finally moved to a different job, which was even less money, but it was down where I'm from. It was in Southampton. Back on train still shift work, but only days. So it was slightly better, but was worse money. Better conditions, worse money.
You were at home with us.
So I used to go to London, stay in digs for a week, and then go home to Luce for a few days, back to London, stay in digs for a week. That was kind of how it was before. So I took a pay cut to have a slightly better quality of life, because for me, I think that quality of life is very important. And if you look at your finances and you can take that pay cut comfortably for a better quality of life with your family, I think people should be encouraged to do that rather than necessarily just chasing the bucks. They say money doesn't make happy, it doesn't buy happiness. I mean, it does to a point. If you can pay all your bills, you're a bit happier. That's just a fact. But we took that pay cut, and then I had been doing that job for about a year before I got promoted, and then I got offered a management job. And all this time after leaving the army, I was what we call a contractor. I guess it's probably the same everywhere, but basically means I could have been let go at a moment's notice and unpaid hourly. So this not having sick pay thing and not having holiday pay, I'm pretty used to it, actually, because we did it for 4 years. So it's why it doesn't really bother me. And then the company that I was working for, Siemens Mobility, at the time, a management job came up, and I was like, I might go for it. And my boss at the time was like, I think you should go for it. I was like, yeah, but I'm only a contractor. I'm an external contractor. Maybe I think you should go. So I applied for it. I was like, oh, what's the fucking harm? Who knows? I think I'd make a good manager. Who knows? So I applied for it. And at the time, we had, for a little while, actually, we'd been trying for our second, and we weren't being successful. And then we fell pregnant. That's another reason I was like, okay, I'm gonna go for this job because it's better money and it's a better quality of life again. And then Luce got made redundant. I remember that. And I remember the phone call saying,
oh my God,
you better fucking get that job because I've just been made redundant.
I got called into the office and I was 20-something weeks pregnant. So pretty much halfway through my pregnancy.
Yeah.
And then told the devastating news, being made redundant. Got told to go down the corridor where a consultant was sat. And I walked in the door and the consultant went, you're the pregnant worker. Okay.
Yeah.
You're the one I definitely need to talk to.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? What's this bump? What? Me pregnant? No.
And Lucy's way of telling me was, you need to get that job.
Yeah, this interview, now everything's riding on it.
Because she didn't have a job anymore. So if I didn't get the job, we were going to struggle to afford to live in the lifestyle that we had.
Yeah.
But I was lucky enough to get the job, and that was my first foray into management. I worked for Siemens as a production manager for 3 years, running the maintenance for the South Western Railway fleet down here in the south of the UK. And then I got poached by Rolls-Royce to go and be a senior manager for them. And I was like, the reason why I've given you that story, if I'm honest with you, is to kind of explain the progressional stepping stones, I think is probably the best way of putting it. So although the first one from the army to London was probably a step down, because I went from being a full corporal, class 1, blah, down to just being a spanner turner, my quality of life, in my opinion, improved and my income improved. It was a step up in that regard. When I moved to Southampton, again, the money went down slightly rather than back up again, but my quality of life improved, so it's a step up. I then got my management job, step up. I then got poached for senior management at Rolls-Royce, step up. I think most people, when you talk about career, when you talk about professional career, I think most people would think, well, that's the logical way for most people to go. You promote. If you move jobs, even whether it's internal or external, if you move jobs, typically you look to, at the very least, sidestep, but probably step up to the next level of whatever your chosen career path is on the whole, right? And so that was my career, and I stepped up to Rolls-Royce, and we did that for, well, I actually did the whole job for just over 12. I think I did it for 13, 14 months in total. So 11 months roughly into that career as a senior manager at Rolls-Royce, at the age of 34, I think I was when I got that job, I was like, I'm doing fucking well now. I was really proud, genuinely really proud. Mm-hmm. And when people said, what do you do for a living? And I'm like, I'm senior management at Rolls-Royce. Oh, fucking hell. I was like, I'm actually really proud of this. Like, this is something, I have to wear a shirt to work. What the fuck? Like, this is madness. And I have a company credit card and I can rent whatever fucking hotel I like. It was a proper, serious job as well. Your contract that you run, which is UK wide, needs to make profit around 16 million this year. Oh, okay. Not much then. Fucking hell, right? So that was that was my logical career progression, and we then hit this crossroad. I was streaming mostly because I love streaming, no more than because I love streaming. That's why I was doing it. And I was making content for you guys because I enjoyed making content. I was doing about 40k because it's my favourite thing outside of work. But I was burning out pretty hard. And we hit a crossroads. And when we hit that crossroads, Luce will tell you, I would get up in the morning at sort of 6. I'd be logged on by 6:30, 7 o'clock. I'd probably work till 7, 8 o'clock at night, despite the fact I was supposed to be on a 9 to 5. But I wouldn't, because at senior management, you've got too much to do.
Yeah.
I'd log off. I'd maybe have an hour to have some dinner. We'd put the camera on, we'd stream. Right, that was kind of a typical day. And it was probably irresponsible slightly, but it was also almost definitely not sustainable. So we hit this point where it's like, well, you can't keep doing both. So you either do your job and have your evenings off where you chill out, relax, get to bed at a reasonable time, or we go YouTube. Now, every single common sense cell in, I think, both of our bodies was like, well, it's the job. It's the one with the salary and the health package and the car allowance and the holiday and the sick pay and the career progression.
I don't know. I think having been made redundant twice, both times pregnant, so no third baby because we can't afford for this to go tilt as well. I think I've always been quality of life over what's in the bank. You can always make more money later, but if you're gonna burn yourself out because that's what you think you should do.
But I still think for most people the common sense way to go at that point is, I have a career with a global company that isn't really at risk, that pays an exceptional salary with a huge bunch of perks and packages and a bonus scheme, right? Or take a punt on YouTube and have random people donating to you each month.
I feel like I'm a very irresponsible person to talk about this with, because I would always be like, no, leave the job, Life's too short.
I sat with it for a while. Luce and I had that conversation. Luce was the one that was like, you're looking gaunt, you're looking tired. Yeah. Like it can't work, right? And so she said, we really need to make a decision. And everything in me said, well, it's the Rolls-Royce career. They'd said to me that they were looking at, they have this thing apparently, I don't know how true this is, but this is what they told me. They have this thing called this Young Directors Program. And they wanted to set me on this program to become a young director at Rolls-Royce, which I was flattered about, obviously. However, like that's another step up that ladder and another tumble further down that rabbit hole and another wade further deeper into that quicksand where you get trapped and you get stuck there. And so we had a choice to make, and we made this random punt. I don't know why I made the decision. I don't know why I went, fuck it, let's give YouTube a go. Mm-hmm. I don't know why I did that. To this day, I don't know why I did that. But we did. And here's where we are. And even back then, if you just said to me, in 2 years' time, you'll be taking on a studio space and you'll have people working for you, I'd have been like, fuck off. It's not going to happen. Because this doesn't compute to me. This wasn't the next logical step. This doesn't make sense that we're here now.
Do you know, I reckon it's because I wonder if I'm the way I am because I have had scary things happen to me and it's like, oh, we're okay. It's not, I think once you've had some of your worst fears realised, then nothing else is that scary. There's always someone you can call, somewhere you can go. So being made redundant halfway through my pregnancy was, okay, this wasn't quite the plan, but it's okay.
That's exactly what I wanted to happen.
It's because ultimately the job had to finish because something very terrible had happened to the people in charge of it. So my day was bad, just been made redundant with this huge bump on me that there's no turning back now. But I'm here because something really terrible happened further up the chain.
Yeah.
And they're having a worse day than me.
Yeah.
So...
yeah, I mean, absolutely. I always say, every time something shit happens, I always say someone somewhere's having a worse day.
Yeah.
That is the fact, you know. That is something that's definitely true.
I think somebody mentioned on chat, that sounds like a lawsuit, but I think ultimately I really appreciated the very matter of fact. Nobody danced around the topic. It was very clear of, this is happening while I have your attention and before your mind goes haywire, these are the facts you need to know now.
Yeah.
And I really did appreciate that. It was a very quick meeting, but I did appreciate there was no...
I think one of the reasons why the YouTube selection was the selection we went for was because master of your own fate to a point.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not. It's one of those weird things, right? People are like, oh, it must be great being your own boss, and I'm my own boss, but I'm not necessarily the master of my own fate. Chat's the master of our fate, ultimately. Let's be honest. Yet again, you know, Stephen, thank you for the 5 gifted star pilot for the 5 gifted. That means we've hit 118 new members tonight already. If it wasn't for chat, and I say that, this sounds like a plea, like a cry for more donations. It's not the case. This is just fact. Without chat, this channel doesn't make money. Mm-hmm. It just flat doesn't. If you think that it supports this household and looks after my family and supports other households, my ad revenue from adverts on the channel each month is about £100 to £200 a month. Everything else is made up of super chats, memberships, and gifted memberships. We are 100% basically funded by those things. Flat donations.
Yeah.
80%, and I'm going to go roughly here, 80% of that money that supports this household and supports what we're doing and supports the new studio is in memberships, whether that be gifted or selected personally. 80%. Of that 80%, over 60%, somewhere in the region of around, I think near 70% of those memberships are gifted memberships. So when I put the target of 100 memberships up each night, the reason why I do that is because basically gifted memberships is why we can go into a studio. Gifted memberships is why we can think about bringing Eddie on board and start paying him some money to make content for us. It's gifted memberships that does it. When I talk about gifted memberships and super chats, honestly, chat, our super chat revenue's down, but our gifted membership revenue's up. So it's fine. That's not a problem. But there's a reason why I shout about it. It's not because I'm a greedy fucker. It's literally what keeps the lights on. Literally why we can do the studio, why we can think about bringing more content to you. And the reason why I love gifted memberships the most as the biggest form, like I'm actually I'll go as far as to say, and I mean this genuinely as well, I'm actually really happy that our highest amount of monetization on the channel comes from gifted memberships. If I was to rank it, gifted memberships is our highest amount of monetization, memberships is our second, super chats is our third, ad revenue is the bottom of the pile, right? I'm really, I think it speaks volumes for an amazing community when gifted memberships are the highest metric for monetization, because that's people choosing to spend their own money to donate the channel, but what they're doing in doing that is giving someone else the opportunity to be part of the community.
Yeah.
I think that's amazing.
Paying it forward.
It's paying it for. It's incredible. And the amount of people that I've seen come in and be like, I got gifted a membership, so I'm going to donate 5 memberships. That's amazing. Like, that's incredible. I think that's really, really cool. Like, I'm really, 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 really proud of the fact that our biggest metric is gifted memberships, because of the whole, like, I'm paying money not because I want to say something specific in a super chat, although that's great, but because I want to give someone else the opportunity to be in Discord, to hang out in the Great Hall, to talk to people, to come and hang out on members-only chat content. We will, in the studio, I promise you, we'll be bringing back full members-only content, because I need to push memberships even harder if I'm going to continue to pay for the studio. And then you've got people like Stick Monkey and Stephen coming and gifting 10 more each as well. No small feat, that. Lucy's saluting, you can't see it. No small feat, that, but... Like, Wolf Lord Joe just came in, said new to the channel and said hello. Welcome, man. He's already a member because he's been gifted one.
Because he's been sniped.
So he's just found the channel recently as a new viewer. And what he can do now, because he's been gifted a membership, is he can get himself straight in Discord without having to pay for it. He doesn't have to go, I don't really want to pay because it might be shit.
Just out of interest, Wolf Lord, how did you hear about the channel?
That's interesting. But what he doesn't, so he doesn't have to be like, I don't really want to pay because Discord might be shit. It might be a crap community. What he can do now, because someone out there amazingly gifted him a membership, was he can go and get in Discord for free now, basically, and have a look. So, you know.
Have a root around.
Yeah. So that's amazing. So he can go and have a look. And he can clearly go, yeah, this is shit. I'm glad I didn't pay for it. What he also might do is he might go, what an incredible community. When my gifted runs out, I'm actually going to choose to be a member all by myself because I think it's worth it. You might not think it's worth it. It's entirely up to you. But, you know, Holio, thank you for the 5. That's right. We own your ass, Liam. Now dance for us. I don't dance. I'm about to dance to the toilet in a minute, to be fair. But Luce can talk to you because she's here now.
Oh, my God. Stop doing this to me.
When we do streams longer than 90 minutes, like tonight is, sometimes I have to nip to the bathroom.
You never go to the bathroom when you're rolling dice in there.
Yeah, I dehydrate myself before we go live.
No, you don't. You know you wee more when you're dehydrated.
Not true.
It is true.
Not true.
Yes, it is.
You eat the most when you're overhydrated.
No, it's an old wives' tale that people stop drinking because they think it stops them needing the toilet. It's not true.
Escapade, how do you say it?
Escape.
I found the channel by accident. Just came through on my autoplay feed.
Oh, I don't know if
that's not good for us. I mean, it's good for us, but not good for us. It's good for us that he found it randomly and chose to stick around.
Yeah.
That's really, really good. But what's not good is I want YouTube pushing the channel in front of people. I need to make the algorithm dance for me, actually, interestingly. You get to see my crappily painted models worth $1. 100% worth $1, absolutely. By the way, what I will say, I know we pinned the link and I said at the start of the stream there was no requirement for anyone to donate via PayPal if they don't want to towards the new studio. I'm going to say a big shout out and a big thank you to Fraser, Robert, David, Fish Palace, Stephen, Tyler, Tristan, who all have gone into PayPal because YouTube doesn't take a 30% cut and chuck some money at the new studio build.
Oh.
It's amazing, yeah. Isn't it incredible? Isn't it incredible? There will be a loose fact, but that'll be at the end of the stream. Will there?
Oh, Pandamaniac. I found the channel thanks to the Titans. That makes sense.
Thomas, thank you for your first super chat. He says, smallest down payment in the world to be kidnapped. Right. I'm going to just go to the bathroom and have a quick wee, like that.
Better be quick.
Well, how quick? Because you're the one that cleans the bathroom, so...
10 seconds. Don't you dare.
I'll be back in 2. Wolflord's replied. Have a read.
So a video popped up on my homepage. A little randomly got gifted a membership. I'm guessing fairly new to the hobby and the Space Wolves, which I'm really grateful for and loving the content. How do I join Discord? Don't ask me while he's not in the room. How do you join Discord? Oh, thanks, Dave. So... ! Discord, there's your link there, click on that and you should be able to get in. I'll get Liam to waffle on about it when he's back from having the cleanest Wii ever. Ozzy, need to keep the link for a couple of weeks at least for payday. Oh, thank you. I searched UK Warhammer bat reps because Titans times were killing my sleep pattern. Yeah. Then a week later, you were on Titans. I thought you were with us before Leon was on Titans, Carl. I thought you were one of the OGs. Time for loot on screen. Nope. Nope, not today. Not today. How do you join Discord when you get a membership?
Exclamation mark Discord and chat, click the link.
Yeah.
It'll take you into a sign up if you haven't already got an account.
Okay.
When you get into Discord, there is then a instruction area under, I think, new member welcomes, which will show you how to link your YouTube account to your Discord account. So it unlocks all the tiers that you get access to depending on what member you are. So you need to make sure you link it as well. But there is instruction in there. If you struggle in the new member welcomes areas, you can stick your hand up and be like, hey, someone help me. And the seers will come and help you.
Was Carl with us before you went on Titans?
Was Carl with us?
Yeah.
No,
I'm
I don't
sure
think
he
so.
was. Oh, I thought he's been here forever.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Carl, but did you not find me when I went to Titans last October?
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I don't remember.
Dave wants to know what my favourite cake is.
Any cake. My favourite would probably be a nice coffee sponge. I like coffee, that's probably why.
I'm going to sound like a posh twat now.
Okay.
I loves me a profiterole.
Is that cake? That's not cake.
It's not cake, you're right. Cake's now, I think I've
pastry.
overdone it. But a profiterole, oh.
Carl says, I just threw lots of money at you when I turned up. You did, yeah, it made me very uncomfortable. found this channel thanks to Lutin. That's amazing.
Oh,
Look
cool.
at that. Even Lutin talking about us. He's a fucking veritable giant compared to us, to be quite honest.
I think I was just randomly looking for Warhammer stuff on YouTube and you must have been live at the time.
Oh, that's cool.
Okay, I feel like our advertising is poor.
It looks that way, doesn't it?
I think we need to work on the advertising.
I think our advertising is a bit shit. Did you see Mini Wargaming Matt's recent video about 10th edition and fun? And if so, what are your thoughts? I haven't seen it actually. Is it worth a watch? I still enjoy the fact that I'm a Liam Dempsey's member, not a Great Hall member, says Ian. All right, okay. Bakewell tart. That's probably a cake, actually, isn't it?
Battenberg.
I saw him on another channel, Something Zone, and thought you seemed like an amusing chap and found you on here. Thanks, Asbo. Something Zone. Good man. I appreciate you. I found the channel when you went to see Mini Wargaming. Amazing. See, collaborations really work. Carrot cake. Oh, actually. Oh, Easton now. Maybe he might be right. Maybe your carrot cake is...
And Dave can vouch for the carrot cake.
It is something to behold, that thing.
Do you remember when I tried to make Black Forest Gatto? I had to take your car keys off you because there was a whole bottle of whatever.
The worst wasn't that. The worst was the attempted red and white striped birthday cake.
With a kilogram of icing sugar on it.
A kilogram of icing sugar, chat. And more importantly, when she finished, it didn't look like a red and white stripy fucking birthday cake. It looked a little bit more like a pile of used sanitary towels with a kilogram of sugar in it.
And you and Lee ate it because I was so close to tears that it didn't turn out how I wanted, and you both ate it with smiles on your face.
It's one of those cakes where you start eating it and you get a fucking eye twitch. There's a thing that happens.
I think Lee ate it and then immediately brushed his teeth from the amount of sugar that was on it.
Fucking Carl says, good job you're not in charge of sales and marketing anywhere. I'll have you know, Carl, that project is fully funded now. Found the channel via Winters originally, then became a member when DCTV ended. Demo Gorgon, thank you so much, man. You're a hero. I love you. Mini Wargaming Matt was avowing the same line as you do. Avowing the same line that you do. What was he saying, Tony? Someone recommended you to me. That's amazing. I think Liam would be a carrot cake man. I am a carrot cake fan, actually. Found the channel through DZ. Steve, you're a hero. I looked up big British Warhammer streams and stumbled across your channels and Starfighter. Really? Did you actually look that up? That's amazing. Amazing. Found you when you were a guest on a Flat Cap Fellows channel years ago. Sick monkey. Love you, sir. One of our amazing things. Drop Dead Dave. Found you through the old man when Liam was a guest and they were talking about the Blooming Zone. Valrak gave you a shout out before you started your full-time 40k on YouTube. Has been a member ever since. Nordos, thanks, man. Look for World Eaters content. See, here we go. There's actually just more than just I stumbled across it. Look for World Eaters content end of 22 and stuck around because game recognizes game. 1 kilogram. She tried to kill you. She was, yeah. 100%.
I was so close to crying. You and Lee were like, give it here. Let's have some.
You can find the fun without demanding everything must be equal. 100%, absolutely. I was a Morehammer sub, says Stick Monkey. You're a hero. Some people were like, what's that word? What's this Morehammer? I don't know what that means.
Oh, I miss Morehammer.
First found you years back when you had a Simhan army. Fell out of the hobby for a few years and noticed you guys again a couple of months back, says Thomas. Well, welcome, man. Welcome back. Hero. Followed you from some fresh-faced innocent chap on Morehammer. Looked a bit like Beaker. Brilliant, thanks, Ozzy. Cue loose, please. We have not had Beaker in ages. Me. Found you after Titans. Found you when you were on Mini War Gaming with Steve, says Chris. Oh, really? Morehammer days. Morehammer. We don't talk about Morehammer anymore. I think Mini War Gaming Matt was not saying what Liam does. He was saying the dislike for 10th edition was probably not justified and was all about army balance. I definitely disagree. Interesting. Okay. I think I found you when the Titans came over to the UK for Heresy release event. That was so much fun. That was... I'll never forget. I will never forget when fucking... I think it was Adrian walked into my studio for the first time, which is my garage chat, as you were well aware. When he walked into the studio and he was like, oh wow. Like, you know Adrian, you spent some time around that man who tries to always be positive, who's used to his studio that's the size of a football stadium, right? And then he walked into my garage and I was like, you can do as many Titan streams for my studio as you want, but it's not. And I kept saying it's not very big. It's a very humble little. And Adrian's like, it'll be fine. And he walked in, was like, oh. And I was like, now you realise.
I really missed Bridger and Adrian when they went, because it was just nice to have other conversations not about Warhammer.
Yeah.
Because I think we had dinner almost every night, didn't we, together? Because they're obviously not from here, so they didn't really have any friends. Except for us.
They didn't have any friends. No one wanted to spend any time with them at all.
But they were great company. They had loads to say for themselves, which is really interesting. Because I feel like sometimes when people do this for YouTube, all they have in common is Warhammer. And it's really hard to try and find out other stuff about them. Because I wouldn't say other content creators are cagey. But I think if you just don't get asked about yourself very often, then you learn to stop talking about yourself.
Yeah.
And you only talk about Warhammer.
Yeah.
So when wifey comes in, who's like, I know nothing about this hobby. Hi, who are you? No, not your YouTube name. What's your actual name? I'm not calling you your YouTube name all evening. What's your actual name? Come on.
Loki says it's funny because obviously the Titans started in the garage as well. But I think US garages are just built different. They are. They're about 3 times the size of ours, to be honest with you. Honestly. It was fucking hilarious watching Adrian and Bridger walk into the studio and be like, okay, This is the space we've got.
This is what we're working with.
Cool. I was like, yep, this is it. This is what we've got. And now, finally, I'm hoping if we can make it work, when we launch the new content in the new studio, they'll come over for it, or at least one of them will. I'll be like, and part of why we're doing it, like part of why we're able to do it is because of Titans as well. So I can't not say thank yous to people like Luton who shouted us out, to Vanguard Tactics where I learned the trade of streaming games with them, to Winters for all the support we had, to Titans for all their incredible support, for Mini Wargaming for us going over, and Dave continues to promote and shout about me to this day. Like the actual content creator community itself on the whole is incredible. We throw shade and we take the piss out of Vanguard Tactics, we take the piss out of Hellstorm, we take the piss out of Valrak. But they're also all incredible people, and we're all very supportive of each other as well. So, I think honestly, it's not necessarily as kind of segregated as sometimes people think. All these people, all these collaborations that you do, Kirioth comes and jumps in streams, Luton comes and jumps in streams, Play On jump in streams. They're amazing people. And Titans still have me back despite my potty mouth. Fraser Crow, by the way. Thank you for getting your giant dick out and becoming a Thane, you legend. If you go back into Discord, now you've done that, there is a link to the WhatsApp chat. If you are a Thane, It's expensive, chat, but you do get a private WhatsApp, and I am in it every single day talking to people. Okay, so it's massively important. Right, I've missed some big comments here as well. I'm trying not to ignore them all. First found you during Warhammer before DZ was a thing. Became a member when you started doing members only stuff. Upped it when the divorce happened. Chaotic failure. Ben, you're amazing. Thank you. Watched Valrak and he raided you about 18 months ago. Been a member ever since. Rimney, you're a hero. Found you through YouTube recommendations. That's good to hear. That's what we want to hear. Morehammer and the Two Beards One Chat podcast. They were good podcasts. We used to do them on Twitch. This is the fucking thing, chat. Years ago, I was like, live content is the future. And then me and Mikey P did the Two Beards Chat on Twitch. I was like, live content is the future. And you couldn't really do it on YouTube at the time. YouTube didn't have super chats. YouTube didn't have memberships.
Wow.
And everyone told me I was wrong. And we
you're
stopped doing.
Just such a nice, humble guy.
And
You're not going to bring it up, are
we stopped
you?
doing the Two Beards podcast because everyone told me I was wrong. And look where we fucking are now. Honestly. Remember your guest appearance on Vizicast and sub to Morehammer? Oh my god, that's old.
Oh my god, do you remember John's video about the pop-up green screen or something?
Oh my,
he had to try and wrestle this back into the bag.
That was an Instagram
so
story.
funny.
Found you when you moaned in Discord about how to make a basic HTML list work. That's me, Emil. That's me. I need you. You need to keep Bridger. They let him go to Canada alone. Have first in your Vanguard Tactics followed here. I've been watching Winters for a while. That time somehow managed to miss on knowing about DZ for several months. But, you know, you're here now, Cyber Outlet. That's all that matters. My other half was making cake and had no caster sugar. So she ground some normal sugar in a pestle and mortar, which give it could be described as a sandy texture. I couldn't even pretend to like it. Amazing.
I have read on the internet that if you don't have any caster sugar, you can put granulated sugar in a blender and whiz it until it's a fine powder. I've never done it myself, but I do wonder, does it actually work? Apparently not.
Perry down, I'm off for a Turkish cut. Beard's coming off. Don't do that, Dave. You look rugged right now. Absolutely rugged. Found you because Brian from Titans mentioned some Liam character he couldn't let his kid watch his 40k stream. Saw you on 10 Days of 10th and loved the contrast. Thing is, right, chat, a lot of you don't know this and a lot of you won't accept this, but the Titans have got potty mouths. Hate to burst that bubble.
No, I won't believe it.
But they've got potty mouths.
I won't believe it.
They've all got potty mouths.
Do you know what was really
What do
sweet?
you mean you won't believe it? You fucking heard it.
Do you know what was really sweet about Adrian when he was here? How long were they here for? A week?
Nearly a week, yeah.
He was allergic to our dog and didn't tell us until like day 4. And his eyes were all puffy. We've got a border collie and her fur is so fine. And when she shakes, sometimes it just plumes of it come out of her. And he doesn't have a dog, does he, Adrian?
No, they have a cat. The cat people.
Yeah, so he was allergic to our dog, didn't say anything until day 4, and that was because I spotted him blowing his nose and rubbing his eyes, and I said, I think you need an antihistamine. Are you allergic to our dog? And he was like, I think I am.
Yeah, Mandy says, like, yeah. But he didn't say a word.
No.
Just kept sitting
Left
there.
you a pic of my garage in Discord. I used to think it was small. Also found you on VT
Yeah,
Smile.
that garage is probably bigger than ours by quite a lot, actually, to be fair. Andy, it's massive compared to ours. But American garages are just bigger. But yeah, he didn't. Bless him. But both of them, to be fair, are very polite when in company.
Super polite, yeah.
But they do have potty mouths. Is the thing. I believe that they do protest too much. Those Titan boys, they do exactly. As someone who's fairly new to the hobby, started in COVID. I'm continuously amazed at how much depth there is in the lore, the creativity and support this hobby has. Wish I got into it sooner. Well, you're here now, man. So welcome. Started watching you after finding out you was a vet like me. Happy I found a similar mindset Warhammer creator. Harley, thanks so much, man. Throck Media. Started watching you after seeing you with Winters. Stayed for the banter and hot takes rants. Like airports.
The airports rants. And the vasectomy story. We were all here for that.
GHG this Christmas. So, yes and no, okay? There isn't a specific Great Hall gathering currently planned at a specific venue for a number of reasons. Reason number one, we were hoping that we would potentially have Super Secret Project up and running by now, and that's not the case. So we have to wait a little longer. Hoping it was going to be up and running and I could use that. Elements fully booked. Was fully booked the last time we spoke to them already. Factorum doesn't have heating. We do it in the winter. But the other big reason is we had what was originally impending studio and now is super impending studio to think about funding and paying for, and I didn't necessarily want to commit to hiring a £500 a day hall plus extras if we didn't know we were going to sell the tickets. Like
Yeah.
it's a minor financial risk, but a financial risk I didn't want to take a gamble on. So what I'm thinking about doing instead is maybe in November picking a weekend and going and planning to go to Warhammer World. So we'll book a hotel up in Nottingham. We'll plan to be there all day Saturday. We'll plan to be there most of Sunday. We'll plan a couple of evenings in Nottingham out. And then if you want to go, it's entirely up to you. You can come along. We'll play at Warhammer World. We'll hang out at Warhammer World. That's my current plan instead of a great... So it's a Great Hall gathering, but it's not a specific Great Hall event. Does that make sense? Yeah, I think that'd be cool. I think that'd be cool. I think that'd be the most fun part to do. Just seeing the Parabellum make conquest of showing off their match play, organised tournaments and match play, looking miles ahead of GW doing, says Donald Cray. Okay. Can't want to run a Vets tourney, but would want to stress Liam since he now has to sort the new studio. Next year we can run a Vets tourney. That'd be funny. That'd be fun and funny. More Hammer forever. Stop it, Colonel. And loose impersonating Beaker. When was the snip story? No, we're not talking about that again. No, we're not talking about that again. Stop talking about the snip story. No. Used to watch Winter's content, saw you and haven't looked back. Barrows Forge, you made the right life choice. You made the right life choice. Oh, SN Battle Reports is here. You notice that SN's always a grey name, never a green name. Doesn't care about us, chat. Did you see that couch? I did look, Mandy, yes. I did look at the couch. And I did chuckle as well. But I'm not entirely sure it would... I don't know if it's the kind of content you're after, Mandy, to be fair. It's all I'm going to say. At Warhammer World. Yeah, Warhammer World. Because the thing is then, right, there's no pressure for us to sell tickets. There's no pressure for us to push tickets. It's just book a weekend, book a hotel, we all go hang out. We can go to Warhammer World, we can do the exhibition, we can hang out in Bugman's, we can eat some food, we can go out for an evening, you know, we can go to Rock City. There's just no pressure on it. And I don't then feel the need to try and sell 50 tickets to break even. It's simply a case of if you can come, you can come. If you can't, you can't. If there's 10 of us, great. If there's 100 of us, great. Right? I want that Ruroc helmet. How do you find them? I was thinking of buying one. You have to go to the website, Chris. Ruroc only sells their helmets on the website. So just go ruroc.com or .co.uk. The only place that I've ever known that you can try these on outside of just buying one off of their website is at Motorcycle Live, which is in Birmingham NEC in, I want to say October, but it might be November itself. They have, however, got a good returns policy. So if you get a size that doesn't fit, for whatever reason, you can send it back. I looked at their measuring chart. I measured my giant swag. I then ordered the one that I thought was the right size and it fits fine. The one thing I will say, if you do buy a Ruroc, because they've currently got a flash sale of 40% off as well, not sponsored, by the way. If you do buy a Ruroc, the one thing I will say is, when you first go to put it on, it will feel incredibly tight. Trust the process if you've measured your head correctly. Once you get it on, it will then feel really snug to start with. It takes a little bit, like a week or two to kind of bed in a little bit, but it's a beautiful fitting helmet. It doesn't move around at all. So although the fit feels tight when you put it on, once it's on, it's amazing. Complete aside, sorry about that. Just thought I'd bring it up. Currently working on my custom chapter. Looking forward to showing it to the group. Do it, man. Do it. I want that. Oh, I've already read that one. I just want to know what video it is so I can go back and watch it. I have no idea, Trout. I don't know. Can we pin the snip story? I don't know which one it is, Carl. You have to go and find it and tell me. Will have been around 12 months ago, I think, the snip stream. No, I don't think it was that long ago, actually. Have we talked about the Weta Workshop GW link up? I haven't, but I'm excited. And if you don't know who Weta Workshop is, Weta Workshop they're in New Zealand. Did some incredible. They did a lot of work on Lord of the Rings, actually. I love a tight fit on my helmet. I always have to switch accounts because YouTube brand accounts cannot accept gifted subs. If anyone is trying to get sniped, yeah, no, it is. I don't know why they don't allow brand accounts to be sniped, but Pardo isn't because, like, in seriousness, Pardo isn't a member because he's a brand account. He's a member because, oddly, Pardo, correct me if I'm wrong, but oddly, Gibraltar can have monetization on their channel, so they can accept things like gifted memberships and allow people to gift memberships on their channel and have memberships. But they themselves can't actually gift or be gifted. Is that right, Pardo? I think. Someone find it, add it to the comment section. Oh god, the spell casting. Yeah, that's one of the best. Might surprise you how long ago it was, to be honest. This year has flown, Dave. I don't know where it's gone. This year has absolutely fucking flown by. By the way, Stephen and Stick Monkey, it took me ages, but I did upgrade the membership thing, so thank you. We almost got to 70%. We actually got to 69.5%. Look at that. We almost got to 70% of the stream tonight. You people are incredible. Learned a lot about Joe that night. You did, yeah. Talking about that, fucking hell. As if he read my mind, Tim comes in and drops the big fat 10 gifted. Thank you so much. And Nathan T has then been gifted one straight away. Look at that. Amazing. Amazing. Thank you, Tim. Thank you for the... Oh, hang on. Not 1,449. 149. Thank you so much, man. You're a hero. Sounds like an excuse from Pirate to me. Yeah, he doesn't try hard enough. All he needs, Stick Monkey, to be fair, is VPN. VPN in, he's sorted, isn't he? Rimney, I have to VPN to gift. There you go. See? YouTube sees Gibraltar as a pariah state. Can only gift on browser for them, not app. VPN. VPN works. Just saying. I wouldn't expect it from Barlow, to be fair. He's a legend and we love him dearly. If you haven't checked out SN, you should check out SN. They're good people. Good people. Have you just put them to bed, Luce? Okay. Right. We've got 10 minutes to go, chat. We've got 10 minutes to go. I am, unfortunately, going to bore you, I think, for the next, I don't know how many months. How many weeks, sorry, not months, with this this PayPal link. Please feel free to ignore it if it's not something you're interested in doing. But I think I'm going to perhaps progress with the brick idea. I think we're going to progress with the brick idea. I think that's something we can do reasonably. And I could probably actually get that up on a crowdfunder in no time at all. But I'm not sure about it. So I don't know if there's another way we can manage it, to be fair. We'll have to think about it. But I actually kind of like the idea of having a whole wall of the studio made with wooden bricks with people's names engraved on it. Because they're wooden bricks. So you can take them down and take them with you. So a lot of people want to give more to help with the studio. And I'm like, how do I, like, what do I do? What can we do for people to feel like that's value? And I think, because I spoke to Cad about this before at Factorum, what we can do is we can get them to make little bricks, wooden bricks, with people's, like the channel logo, people's name engraved on it.
I thought you meant like parquet flooring.
Kind of, sort of, but like on a wall, we can then use all those little bricks to make, it's almost like making a fake, like, brick wall inside a studio by using these little wooden ones. And then we can make a wall of legends, basically.
Yeah.
And I don't know how we do it. I don't know if we link it to donations. I don't know if we link it to like membership tiers or whatever. I'm not sure. But something like that, I think would be really cool to have a brick of names of people. Because the thing is, because it's like little wooden bricks as well. Should we ever decide to move studios to somewhere bigger, smaller, depending on what happens, we can take it with us then. Yeah. Which is really nice, you know. I think I'd like to do that. I think that'd be kind of cool. What's the target? What target? What do you mean? Aston, thank you for the gifted membership. You're a hero. That's not a target as such, but this is just a thing we can try and do to say thank you to people and give them an incentive, perhaps, to support the studio. How much to get my name on the whole wall? I don't know how we make it work yet, but like I had essentially decided not to crowdfund the studio because I don't like the way it feels.
Right.
I then went and had a coffee with Lawrence, who told me repeatedly, you absolutely should do this. You should do it. And I was like, oh, I'm not sure. And then I thought about it and I started to come up with different pledge tiers and what you get in rewards. But that's because I thought I had 3 to 6 months before I'd get the studio.
Yeah.
Now I have a week.
Yeah.
So I can't get half this shit made now. So I was like, oh, we could do branded dice box. We could do branded paintbrush sets. We could do branded that. All these ideas I had. And it's like, cool, you've got maybe a week. I'm not complaining, like it's super exciting.
Yeah.
But like, I can't put time into that now because I actually have to put time into the studio. So, like a model named and made after certain legends, that becomes tons of effort though. And so VT, I don't know if you remember when I first started streaming with VT. If you guys were ever watching, they used to do this thing where you could super chat the value of a model, right? And then they would buy the model, paint it, and name it after you, and use it in stream, which was a great. I really liked the idea. That's a cool idea. I like that idea. But the backlog became so overwhelming. Steve had to stop it because it was like we've got too many models that we just like people have given us good money for models that we haven't got them built yet, let alone fucking painted.
Yeah.
Like, so I can't keep taking money off people if I haven't even got the ones done that we've got in the backlog. So, you know.
Which Steve was this?
Boxy.
Oh,
Vanguard,
okay.
yeah. So listen to Lawrence. That is a smart man. I mean, he is a smart man. Yeah, he is a smart man. But I don't. Maybe I can panic build one over the weekend. Chat. Stretch goal £500,000 seems reasonable. I think that's fine. Is that fine? I think that's a reasonable stretch goal, right? The other thing as well is when you look at those kinds of things, it's like where is the acceptable? This is what okay. I get so much shit from chat about not doing things like crowdfund. I'll explain. Okay, these people, every single stream, gift memberships, turn up in chat, like the stream, become members themselves, super chat. So what they're doing is giving us their money to entertain them and funding the channel. So if I then come out and go, here's a crowdfunder, a lot of them have said we're happy to support a crowdfunder, right? That's fine. So me saying here's a crowdfunder, for most people, they're going to go, cool, yeah, that's fine. We said we're going to do it. And then they look at it, right? Now, it might be that I go, my goal for funding is, I'm throwing numbers out here now. This means nothing, to be clear. My goal for funding is 10,000. And they might go, that's not a lot. Okay, cool. He's probably underdone it there, actually. He probably hasn't got enough. And then I start building the studio and go, it's come to 20. This is a problem, right? And then I've also thought, like, well, what we could do is we could look at maybe being really open and be like, this is how much it's going to cost to have the studio for a year. So we'll fund a year's costs for the studio. It takes the pressure off the channel then. It's channel grow, right? Okay. That's also pretty cool. But crowdfunding then encourages you to do a stretch goal as well. And you go, oh, well, what I could do is I could fund like 2 years of the channel and then the cameras. And then before you know it, you're going, I want 100 grand. And it's like, then it looks fucking horrendous. And I don't like the lottery of going, what's a reasonable target to try and hit?
Yeah.
The only other thing you could do, I guess, is say, my target's £100. And then you lot raise as much as you want to raise. My target's £100. Because you can do that. Because with crowdfunder, if you say, like, there's, if you say your target's £100 and every single person, 26,000 subs, every single person gives £1 and it makes 26,000, you still get the 26,000 after crowdfunder's cut, etc., which isn't a lot. It's a small percentage. So you can overfund and it will still pay out. So you could be like, I'm going to say I want nothing. It's up to you what you do.
Oh, okay.
Which is why I've done the PayPal link instead.
Right. Okay.
Because no one can see what anyone's donated. No one can see what anyone's given. Only I can see.
Yeah.
There's no, I've donated 100. I've donated £50. I've donated 10. There's none of that.
Yeah.
It's all anonymous.
And it will
I haven't put a goal.
And it will all make a difference.
It will all make a difference. I haven't put a funding target. You can even decide to send it friends and family, so there's zero fees. You don't have to, again. But that's why I think I like the PayPal link instead. Like, it's there if you want it. No pressure, though. There's no goal. There's no target. There's no payback. There's nothing. You don't have to put your name to it. Do whatever you want. It's just there.
Okay. This might be a cup of tea's worth.
Yeah,
I think
this is a cup of tea.
Because I can already see potentially a couple of loopholes in that.
How much does it cost to keep Joe in Monster and Sausage Rolls for a year? You don't want to know that fucking price, monkey.
That's more than a crowdfunder.
Thomas says you only have to nerd nap 2,000 people to raise that cash.
Hashtag nerd napped by Liam.
Jordan Paris and Eston, thank you for the gifted. Jordan, thank you for the gifted 5. You're a hero. And thanks for the 5 as well. I've been sat here for 12 days in Anguilla, the Caribbean, thinking why I can't gift or super chat. VPN, thanks. VPNs answer everything. If you ever watch the gaming channel, !gaming, you'll notice it's become really weird. Every time me and Joe and Josh now play DMZ, everyone around us has no longer got European accents. They've all got North American accents. It's really weird. Anyway, VPNs are great. I'm just saying. Can I adopt Joe? Similar to what you can do at the local zoo. Get Joe a toy. Picture of him growing up and learning new tricks. That would be an amazing funder. Adopt a Joe. You get a little Joe cuddly toy. That'd be fucking incredible. If I could get Joe Cuddly toys made, that's the channel rich in no time at all. How much did PayPal take? I have no idea. I don't know what a normal PayPal fee is if it's not friends and family. I don't know, if I'm honest with you. I'm not sure. It's less than YouTube's 30%. I know that much. Wait, what do we do for Joe's mum in the end? Like 3,000? Yeah, but that's for charity, Carl. That's more important. Charity's more important, mate.
And that was for his stepdad. I think it was his mum who was raising the money, but it's for his stepdad, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. How about a beaker cake made by Lucy using ground down sugar instead of caster as a reward?
I couldn't pull off a rectangular cake. There is no way I'm making a shaped cake.
Yeah. Anyway, we actually got to 155 new members, which is incredible. I normally set a target of 100. I set 200 tonight to be greedy because, you know, studio excitement. And someone can crochet a Joe. Amazing. Not a sentence you'll hear every single night. So we didn't hit the 200 target, but you guys have smashed through what is the normal target. So thank you so much. You people are incredible. Like I say, like a little bit of a soppy moment. I joke about this all the time. I say this frequently, though. It's not possible without you people. We aim to give you something back by offering you entertainment, a laugh, informing you about the game, talking to you about rules, teaching rules, playing 40k, engaging with you in the hobby, you know, involving you in a community, giving you places to talk, giving you places to express yourselves, giving you places to share your pictures, all that kind of stuff. So we give you all of those things to try and give you something back, but that's because we wouldn't be here doing this without you. It's a symbiotic relationship. We need chat. I'd like to think to some extent some of you need us as well. It's amazing. So thank you so much for the support. You people are incredible. We'll think about the crowdfund idea. I just don't have time to build lots of rewards for you people. If you think about the Tactics crowdfunding that they did, you got some really fancy shit out of that one. Nice dice boxes and t-shirts and fucking custom objective markers and stuff. They did an incredible job, but Lawrence would have been building that in advance. And I thought it had a few months, and we don't now. And I don't want to say to the estate agent, nah, let's wait 3 to 6 months and freeze our tits off in the garage again. We're shivering on the fucking camera. We'll get them filming lights on to warm the studio. Let's not do that. Let's just take the studio if it's being offered to us this scene. Why would we wait? So we're not going to wait. And you people are incredible because you might actually make this a reality. So thank you so much. Tomorrow I'm in Birmingham seeing a friend of mine.
You're not saying it right.
Birmingham. So anyway.
No, that's the Dudley accent.
Birmingham.
No,
They're basically
that's too Dudley still.
Yam yams.
Dudley.
So Joe plushies. This is an amazing idea, Steve. So I am hoping to be leaving there between 5 and 5:30, and therefore hoping to be home around 8 p.m. at the very latest, 8:30 because it's Friday traffic. And I'm listening to Devastation of Bar at the same time. So 2.5 hours there, 2.5 hours back. I get 5 hours of Devastation of Bar done. I'm excited. So logically, I will be back in time for 40k After Dark. I have every intent of being here for 40k After Dark at 9:30. But if I get stuck in traffic or whatever, it might be that we're a bit late. Now, if I do get stuck in traffic, what I'll do is I'll phone Luce, and I'll get Luce to put an everyone tag out on Discord just to let you guys know that it's delayed or it's not happening. I can't see it being a problem. I think we'll be fine. I'm just giving you the heads up right now. Okay?
Or I could
I know where you're going.
And just read the phone book out until you get here. We had a phone book delivered like 2 weeks ago.
We did. I don't know why.
I just read the phone book.
We haven't got a house phone. Learning to drone. Thank you so much for becoming a Skull Team member. You're a hero. Carl's got a great idea for the crowdfunder, by the way.
What's that?
Just pick random stuff from around the house. Here's your used Dempsey mug.
Have you ever accidentally gifted something back to the person who gifted it to you and you forgot, and it was like a housewarming or a wedding, and you're like, here, have this? Because
if someone gifts something to me that I don't... This is where you're a problem. If someone gifts something to me that I don't want, I just bin it. Like, thanks, bin it. Or, if it's not that bad, donate it to charity. Someone else can make use of it. So I have no problems with ever worrying about giving it back to someone because I've got rid of it already because it's clutter. I don't want it. And you're the one that used to have Lucy used to have a re-gifting box.
Yeah, I did. Because I didn't want to throw away perfectly good stuff, but there's only so many salt and pepper sets you need, or cutlery that you need, or...
You used to have a re-gifting box, and if we got given Christmas presents or anything that you didn't want, straight into the re-gifting box.
It's not that I didn't want it. I'm grateful, and I'm really... like. It's so nice that people spend their disposable income on me, but you know, when you're like, don't need it. Please stop.
So we had this regifting box, and the next year just be pull it out, put a name on it, send it off, basically.
Yeah.
To a point. So what we do now is we just tell everyone, don't give us anything at all, please.
Please stop. We're fine. I have all the salt and pepper I could ever need. Please stop.
Yeah. Anyway, so you guys are amazing. Thank you so much. Is it a bonus week? Is it? It's open.
I have
It's
one.
a bonus week, chat.
And this one is a true fact. Thank you very much.
It's loose facts time. Okay. Is it true? Is it false? Is it loose or is it loose?
Humans are the only animal on Earth to have chins. Nobody knows why.
What?
It's in here. It's true. We're the only ones to have chins.
Nah, that sounds bollocks.
It's not. It's a true fact. We're the only ones. I'm Googling it. Let's give it a goggle.
I don't. The worst thing is, I think that's nonsense, but I'm struggling to think of an animal with a chin right now.
A monkey? Does a monkey have a chin?
Yeah, probably.
Are humans the only animals with chin? It's already in the Google bar. In fact, with the arguable exceptions of elephants and manatees, humans are the only mammal. Mammal. With that little section of bone on the lower portion of the jaw that juts out past the teeth, and scientists don't know why. It's true!
But it doesn't say mammal. The book says animal.
Right, well, it's fine. It's true. It's true.
No, it's nonsense. Monkeys have chins, says Stephen. There is a fish with one. Exactly. The book says animal, not mammal, so the book is wrong.
But it's still amazing that mammals.
Oh, have I left you on? Oh, no, I haven't left you on.
It's mammals.
I'm not... I mean, to be fair, I'm left out of this anyway. I don't have one.
Have you seen the fish that's got a chin?
I don't have a chin.
You should get
Yes, I've seen the fish with a chin. But I don't have one.
Fish with chin.
So it's not entirely true because I don't have one either. Because as we know, if I shave, I look like Beaker.
If it's the fish I'm thinking of, it freaks me out a little bit because it actually blinks at you.
Stephen Rose says some of us have more than one.
Being greedy. More than one chin.
I honestly, nonsense. It says animals. I've seen a chinned fish. So, you know. Have you ever chinned a fish? Anyway, right. You people are... 3 loose facts, right? Because there'll be one tomorrow night as well. So.
Oh, I'm down the rabbit hole now. So many fish.
Okay. Elephants are mammals. Manatees are a mammal. What? No. Wrong. It's nonsense. No.
A mammal is a mammal because of the mammary gland that they feed their young from.
Okay.
So, fish can be some fish. Can they?
No, fish can't be mammals,
No,
Luce.
no
No,
fish.
Luce. Don't say things
Manatees-
like that. When we spend weeks telling people that you educate our children, don't sit there and be like, some fish can be mammals.
No, they can't. You're right. It's a manatee. I got it all mixed up.
Dolphin's a mammal.
Yep. No. Hang on. Is a dolphin a mammal? I know it's is a dolphin
Yes, and it says, why would you chin shame Liam with such a cruel fact?
Oh, a dolphin is a mammal.
Yep. Yeah, I know.
Ah.
See? Magic.
They're not dolphins aren't.
Elephants aren't fish, says Hazar. Just to clarify.
That's the latest conspiracy theory. Elephants are not fish.
Right. In case you weren't sure, chat, just to be sure before we go, elephants aren't fish. You people have been incredible. Thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight on the 40k show. Not the 40k show, the bonus show, because Joe had his tooth out. Like I said to all the people at the start, can confirm he's in some pain, but he is okay. He's had the tooth removed successfully. So he'll be okay, and she'll be back next week. So don't panic. We'll see the return of Joe on Tuesday.
Aww.
The dentist didn't kill him. He is, in fact, okay. That's it from us tonight, though. Like I said, look out tomorrow for 40k After Dark. Hopefully at 9:30 tomorrow night. I can't see why that wouldn't happen, but I'm just going to give you that warning because Friday traffic in the UK can be an absolute nightmare. That's it from us here tonight, however. Make sure you've hit that like button if you haven't already. Lucy, you got anything else to say?
No.
What are you laughing at, then?
Carl, really? Lucy's the teacher?
I know. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one.
fought side by side. And if the gods will it, I'm ready for Valhalla. Garson.